is not what people think it is.
Oh. So how would you describe the Christian God that you believe in?
I don't believe in a Christian God, that's what I'm saying, but because in a literal sense, I wouldn't.
Oh.
Because if I was to say what it was in my interpretation, then there would be no, it's not Christian. There would be no religion. It wouldn't exist
What do you
as a structure.
what God do you believe in?
I wouldn't say I believe in it because I don't put my faith, blind faith, and there's no evidence, right, for that existing
Okay, so like
or it or whatever it is.
are
There's no
you
evidence for it.
are you atheist?
Yeah, probably pretty much, yeah. But like
Oh.
at the same time, like I guess you could say agnostic. Like I'm not gonna say it's an open-ended question. I just can't prove it. It's a negative.
Based. Welcome to the club. I'm agnostic as well.
Okay,
Yeah.
never mind then.
Yeah, me and you hold the same position. I say I don't know if God exists, and I don't think we have enough information or the ability to know whether God exists.
But the only thing is that I'd be different on is the interpretation of the Bible. I don't read it literally. So like people read one thing. I just dealt with it right now in another live. They
Mm.
do not understand my interpretation of numbers, and I feel like it's so basic to understand that
Yeah.
it's kind of like, dude, people go on here and diss Christians, diss all this stuff, atheist. I'm like, bro, I'm pretty much atheist, bro. But like, you guys got to read it differently, and they just look at me crazy. And it's like we have the same values, so why the hostility? It's just interesting.
Yeah. Well, yeah, I mean, like a lot of atheists share some of the values that like Christians have. It's just that Christians want to also add that like God exists and like there's some kind of like objective morality that exists.
Yeah, they're like so mean to people, bro. They're like, I think atheists are like the literalist Christian like understanding the atheists like oppose. Dude, they're like some of the most angry, bitter, like toxic people I've ever seen. I can't believe like they love TikTok live. They like getting reactions out of people and muting, overly muting, kicking, bringing back up, and like they're just they're fun.
Oh, Christians or are both Christians and atheists?
No, really, just atheists. Christians are just like scared or like confused,
Well, I guess
and
it.
they're just like ah. But then
And I
like
think it just
or they'll
falls on
say
both
you're the
sides,
devil.
right? Like,
Yeah.
it's just that people are extremely passionate about this topic because it holds to a level of identity. And so you're going to have, I've seen it myself, right? I see atheist lives where I'm like, wow, y'all don't need to be so aggressive on this Christian. And I see Christian lives where I'm like, whoa, y'all don't need to be so aggressive with this atheist. So I think it's a people thing, not a group thing.
Well, I also think it has to deal with a matter of, Christians want atheists to see quote unquote the truth. And atheists are like, hey, y'all need to see what the truth really is. And so it's kind of the same thing on both sides where they're trying to convince them, either to deconstruct or believe in their religion. And then they get frustrated.
Yeah. Yeah. I've dealt with like good faith Christians, and I've also dealt with like bad faith Christians. And yeah, 2 years on TikTok. I wish I started earlier. Like that's my only regret. I wish I was like debating on TikTok like earlier than 2023. Like I could have like been the forefront. But ah well. My regrets. Like I think the second
Okay.
that TikTok turned from Musically to TikTok, that's when I should have started like debating, and then I probably would have like picked up all of the audience and became like the biggest like debate content creator. I started a bit late.
Yeah, we were supposed to debate, but like I didn't know you were just like
Oh wait, me versus you?
basically yeah, you were debating like I thought you actually was on that side. You were like just pretending debating the other side.
Oh no, yeah. Sometimes I like cosplay as a Christian to like test my skills, but no, I don't believe in Christianity. I oftentimes like have pretty provocative topics in regards to Christianity. Sometimes, but no, yeah, I'd be
Dude, I literally thought I was gonna come in here. We are gonna have like there's no debate. We pretty much get it. Like, and you're peaceful about it, so there's no need to debate anything.
Yeah,
It's
I
so
mean,
sick, man. Holy shit.
yeah, I'm pretty laid back. Like I'm pretty laid back. If you ever like see me screaming on a panel, then
I
like
never,
the
never. I've
person,
only seen you
Oh,
compose.
just wait, you'll hear him.
yeah, like look, like I'm pretty laid back. And I tend to treat people with respect, right? As long as they treat me with respect. But then like when I go on panels and I see Christians being assholes, then I'm like, okay, fine, bet. And then like I start like turning up my asshole like
Yeah.
knob, and then yeah, like if you like scroll past and me like screaming at somebody, just know that I tried really hard to be patient with them, and like this is me at my wits end. like
Yeah.
like it,
Well, and I don't know about you guys, but I go on to Christian panels all the time, and I've had men who are on there who are literally like, "Well, sit down, and they'll call you that W word because you don't believe in what they believe in." And it's like, "Oh, wait, you're one of those." And
There's
the
a
one,
lot
Ew,
of the thing
ew.
is about atheism, and I think agnosticism is we have a lot more men that have done unpacking of some of the patriarchy, whereas within Christianity, you're propping up patriarchy and
yeah,
actively feeding into it, and so that just means that they're more misogynistic.
I'll be
Christian.
honest, bro. I just went on a freaking panel, and it was this chick. And look, man, like I can't be feminist, but like, dude, I'm for choice. It's not up to me, right? Like, like I'm here. I'm not. I don't even want to get married. I don't really. It's like if I'm
Wait,
with a
wait, you
chick
don't
and
want
she
to be
wants
a
to get married,
feminist?
sure.
So you think
No,
that
I
men should
do. I
be better
do. I
than
do. But
women?
like,
No, he said. I think he said. Well, I don't
what?
know.
Do
Go
you
ahead.
want
What?
to wait one second? I misunderstood. Did you say you want to be a feminist or you don't
But
want
I'm
to
a
be?
man. I can't be a feminist as a man, dude.
Yes, you can.
Doesn't.
You can.
Okay, well then I consider myself. Some people would say no. Some crazy
Yeah,
panels would
I
say
think
no.
that a lot of times those are people that haven't done enough reading into like some of the later literature.
The
I
New
think that
Testament
anyone
of
worth
it, yeah.
their weight, any feminist worth their weight in salt, is going to tell you that it's simply that men and women deserve equal rights, um, and equal
Yeah,
and fair
that's yeah.
treatment. Right? Like so, if you hold to that, then you are feminist in my book,
So
at
I
least.
go on this live and I'm just being peaceful. I'm not even talking to her, and she's like some mod or something. She jumps in, starts calling me all this shit. I'm like, what? And then she starts saying like the misogynist things. I didn't say anything. I'm like, okay, that's being rude. Like I was being very nice. I wasn't name calling back. I was just like, okay, like like. But then she kept going. I'm like, okay, you're being toxic, man. Like, yo, can you like? She keeps interjecting, and she keeps blaming misogyny. I'm like, what? I'm like saying, dude, I'm like an atheist. Like, I'm literally like a leftist, bro. Like, and you're saying I'm misogynist. It doesn't even make sense. Like, what are you talking? Like, it's just because you as a person, like, it doesn't matter if 50-50 you were born, however, biologically. Either way, you'd still be like an asshole. It's not about being a woman. So I've noticed that too, man. It's really hard because my interpretation of the Bible triggers these people, man. They don't know what to say.
Yeah. No, I hear what you're saying. Yeah, there are like some toxic feminists. Yeah. I think like maybe late third wave feminists.
Oh, it's a weapon for them. Not all, obviously. It's like
If
again,
I
it's
swear.
the person. It's not the actual cause or what they're, alleging me of being. She's saying, yeah, you're the reason why AB, we should have AB, like, so I would be aborted, or like, like, it's like saying you should have been swallowed. It's like, damn, like, what the fuck? I don't even know you. Like, my views are that dangerous to you as a atheist?
Yeah.
I've actually said that to a Christian, by the way.
Oh, it's a good one, I know, but when it's deserved, of course. They're just like farming clips.
Yeah. Here, let me answer this question. Wait, Sunshine? I don't know what you're saying, but ask your question again. Like reword it, and then I will consider answering it. Actually, I mean, I'll answer any question, but
We've also had Juan Pablo up here for a while. What's up, man?
interesting.
Juan?
So I'm here.
Oh, hey, what you got for me, Juan?
Let's say I was just listening to what you guys are saying. I do have a question, but yeah, you guys can go ahead.
Oh, go for it. No, you got the floor. Ask me anything you want.
If you can give me a sec, I think I might have a question. I think somebody asked that important question. I don't want to.
Oh, okay. So Sonashine is asking me like, would I let evidence first debate in my live? I don't even know who that is, but I'd have to go like find his profile on TikTok. But I mean, sure, as long as he's not like toxic or anti-Semitic or homophobic or racist or misogynistic, then yeah, sure. Yeah, I'll let practically anybody debate on my live to an extent, right? We have to keep the space safe.
Tell him pull up, man. With the facts.
I mean, I'll debate anybody as long as like it's like relatively like worth it. I don't I don't take interest in debating people who are clearly like way more read or way more talented than me because it would be a waste of their time. Like I don't see the point of like debating somebody who's like read tons of philosophy and like they're saying all this philosophical jargon and I'm sitting there like I haven't read like 1% of what you've read. It's kind of like what's the point of this debate? So it's kind of like I debate people who are like a little bit less skilled than me or a little bit more skilled than me. But not like where there's like a clear difference. Like I wouldn't go debate a PhD, right? Like what's the point in that? I'd be so outclassed the entire debate.
Ask you a question, host.
Go for it.
So, do you believe in God or
I
or
I do not believe in God. I'm an agnostic.
agnostic? So, on the fence? Would that be fair? Or
Yeah, I'm on the fence. We're the fence riders.
that was my question. Yeah.
Okay. But yeah, like I'm currently I'm doing research into Christianity and atheism and trying to figure out like what my beliefs are. I am building a worldview. I do have like some beliefs about the world and some presuppositions and some axioms, but yeah, like I would say there's good arguments for Christianity and good arguments for atheism, and I haven't really picked a side yet. But then also like there's other options, right? Like Greek gods, Norse pagan gods, Egyptian gods. There's other religions I could also choose. But yeah, I'm doing my research. Shit, I can't. Oh my god.
My position would be that there is a creator.
Oh.
Just so, just to be fair,
What would be your motivation for that?
based on just think that based on what we see around us, to be some sort of intelligent design.
Oh well, like I don't really see design. I kind of just see like happenstance, right? Design implies like intentionality, and I don't really see like intentionality when it comes to our universe. In regards to genetics, in regards to, like, I mean, random asteroids and meteorites flying through space. Like, why would you see intentionality?
I would see intentionality based on the design. Because what you said was genetics. You said, let's just say genetics. Also say what we see around us in this world, also in the universe, we have the laws of physics, all of these things.
Yeah.
I think it's hard to disprove these things as maybe happenstance or they could have just happened randomly. And again, if that's what you believe, fair enough. You do have to provide something. And again, I can't provide you any evidence based on empiricism, but I can say, based on logic, it would determine that these things didn't come together by chance, right? I.e.,
I
even chance
disagree.
is debatable,
I disagree.
right?
So
Even
like,
chance is debatable.
wait, hold on.
Yeah.
So like, okay, so like, there's two hypotheses on the table, right? Or well, there's many hypotheses, but let's say we compare like a God hypothesis to a naturalistic hypothesis. It's not logically impossible for everything to like occur naturally. If anything, like if I grant fine tuning, there's a couple papers on it. If I grant fine tuning and like everything, you know, like there's a small chance that our universe could be created specifically to support life. I mean, given the sample size, I would say like our universe is kind of inevitable, right? Like we haven't even begun to explore like 1% of space. Like there's so much space, so many planets, light years away. Like we haven't even reached the edge of space, right? So even if I grant fine tuning, sure, there's like a small there's a small like percentage that like our world could exist supporting life, but given the sample size, it's inevitable that our universe would exist. And like there's no logical contradiction in like naturalism just naturally creating the laws of gravity, the laws of physics, um, and like the laws of logic and all sorts of stuff like that. Then on the other hand, you're implying that like some god exists and like some mind created everything and there's intentionality and like some kind of intelligent universe that's being created here. So like to me both seem like 50-50. Like why should I tip over into your side?
Yeah, I think tuning is a great thing that you brought up. Tuning, it doesn't really speak to everything. You're right that you know what maybe we're not the only life that exists in the universe. And based on probability, it would be likely that there is other life on there. And I would agree with you, right? Because there's so many different galaxies, just even galaxies. And we're just in one galaxy that has so many different stars just in our galaxy. And there's trillions of other galaxies. So mathematically, I think all of us would have to agree that, you know what, based on probability, there has to be other life because simply there's so many stars that would have to be in the same place with other planets have life. You're right about that.
Yeah, or I'm saying that
But when it comes to I think
okay.
sorry about that. When
You're
it comes
good.
to fine tuning, right? Sorry about that. When it comes to fine tuning is we when it comes to our galaxy and our solar system, we happen to be in the right place at the right time in the right location. That's what fine tuning is. And you may be right about that, but we don't have any evidence of anything else other than our solar system and our life exists when it comes to our planet and how close we are to the sun in order for us to be able to live with the sun. Because if the sun was a little bit further away or a little bit closer away, closer together, it wouldn't be livable,
I
right?
mean,
So
given
when I say fine tuning, that's what I mean. Sorry, go ahead.
yeah, but oh no, you're totally okay. Like interrupt me at any time. Like I don't mind. But it's like I mean, given like millions of miles though, right? So like when it comes to like when it comes to the Goldilocks zone, which is like the zone around the sun for like planets, they have to be in that zone in order to be able to support life or be the correct temperature in regards to heat and like coldness. We could literally move the Earth like hundreds of thousands of miles forward or backwards away from the sun, and like it would still be able to support life. Like it's not that slim of a gap actually. Um, but yeah,
And the Earth actually, just to cut in there,
yep.
the Earth actually itself in its orbit moves thousands of miles off of, what the quote unquote path is. It's not like a perfect path.
Yeah, absolutely. The Earth like varies in distance from the sun all the time as it rotates like around the sun. But yeah, like with fine tuning, it's saying that like our universe was designed precisely for life, and like it would be impossible, right, if the parameters were any different, and like it had to be designed by an intelligent mind. But I mean, yeah, given the sample size, like it could be the case that naturalistically these things came about. And yeah, like the chances of it happening is very slim, but the sample size is so big that like we're inevitable. I heard this argument
Yo,
from Ian. So like,
And here's the thing too.
okay,
If the
what's your Fortnite account? I'll add you.
yeah, I'll tell you. It's my username on TikTok basically.
Oh, okay. And also I got a question for this guy,
Yeah, go ahead.
if he's still here.
Wait, hold on, wait before you go. Let Trinitray go. She was in the middle of talking, but go ahead, Trinitray.
Yeah. If the universe was actually quote unquote perfectly designed to house life, wouldn't there be more life?
Yeah, so I think that's a good question. I never said that the universe. I said that we are in a zone, and I think the host was talking about that. That we just happen to be in the right place at the right time with a sun, star, whatever, close enough to us, where life,
Could we happen anywhere
factors,
else?
yeah, all the factors for life to exist. We just happen to be there again, and you have to say, is this coincidence or is this not? This is just a question that I'm posing, right? Whether you agree with it or not, that's up to you.
Mm,
Wait, can I ask this question now?
go for it.
Because
Yeah,
you just
go for it. Yeah.
yeah, you just answered a question with a question, which is pretty weird. But you said like you use logic, so that's pretty good because I like when people use logic. So I'm just gonna ask like what inference licenses this sort of jump that you're making from quantitative facts to intention.
Actually, yeah, that's even the same question I was asking, but I said it not as intellectual. But yeah, I was asking the same thing virtually.
So mathematical to what?
Or so how do you go from like the facts about the universe to like some kind of intentionality being a part of that?
Again, I think you guys are jumping, right? I never mentioned intentionality.
One second. No, we're not jumping. So, what you had said was that, fine tuning shows that we are within this Goldilocks zone, which seems to imply intention. Was that not what you were arguing? Or is that a misunderstanding on my part?
We can go based on logic. And yes, it seems to imply that this did not come together on some sort of random basis or by its own design.
Well,
Yeah.
Yo, Coco, I
Okay.
can't
That's
find your
so.
thing, bro.
So that's
Okay,
what they
one
were
sec.
asking, right? They were saying,
Yeah,
how are you
so-
getting from these facts?
Mhm.
Right? We have the facts of, physics, math,
Yeah.
consistency. How are you going from that
Yeah.
to a mind required intentionality? That is quite the jump, right? And do you see the question we're asking?
Yeah, so I was asking the same question. How do you go from
No.
physics,
You don't get to ask that. You don't get to answer it with a question. We're asking
Okay.
you for your worldview. So I would
Sorry,
like for you
I'm asking
to
you,
provide that.
how do you go from mathematics, physics, and all of the laws that we know today in order to explain
How do
how
you
we
answer a
know?
question with a question?
That's
You know
a
what?
good
Go ahead.
question.
Yeah, go ahead.
Oh
Yeah.
Is it a
God.
good question?
No,
I'm not
I
so
think
sure.
the lady here brought a good question, but she's asking the same question that I brought up in the first place.
No,
No,
hold on,
you're
hold
not
on.
like
What
tracking
you're
it, right?
doing, what you're doing right now is I'm asking you a question. You're taking that question and then just flipping it around instead of engaging with it. You'd like it to pose it to me. I can engage with it, but I was interested in your perspective, your
I wasn't
point of
posing
view.
it to you.
But
That's the
because
question that
you're
I
going to claim
posed.
that this is
Right?
logical, I'm now going to take it into that space, right? They're asking
Yeah.
what inference are you using? How are you going from cold hard facts to intentionality, which requires the mind? How are you going from, or are
Again,
you starting
what I
with
said.
rationalism? Are you starting with empiricism?
Yo, I can't find
Yeah.
your username, bro.
Yeah. Go ahead.
Oh, type yours in chat and I'll see if I can find yours.
And what that's called in any type of debate or even a question, it's called burden shifting.
That's my user. Wait, just to like recapitulate my question, right? So you're gonna have like quantitative facts, and these could be thought as like numerical facts, right? So you can think of like nomological constants, right? So we have like these facts about nomological constants, right? Which are gonna be quantitative facts. And then in fine tuning, you want to say that this leads us to some sort of intention. Right? But unless you get some sort of inference that justifies that jump from quantitative facts to intention, the argument's unsound.
Based.
So,
Yeah, host. Again, I think you guys are making a jump from intention. I'm saying that
Oh no.
like again, I brought up mathematical. I brought up just simple logic of how can we see what we all observe and say that this came from XYZ when the only logical stance to have is that this must have come from a designer with a will and an intention.
I would disagree. Like there is no logical contradiction and like all of this happening naturalistically. It would just be highly improbable, but it wouldn't be impossible. And also, when we say that all of this is happening naturalistically, we're not even saying that it's random. Random would imply that it has no relation to like a prior antecedent. Like, I mean, we're saying that it does have relation to a prior antecedent. It would just be naturalistic. It's not just like things happening that we're like, oh, how did this happen? Like, no, there's going to be a cause for like everything.
Okay. Again,
I think
do
it's
you have
like
it?
misleading, not gonna lie.
Sorry, go ahead. No.
Can you like repeat the question? See if like
Yeah.
you understand the question.
Sorry. So my question was.
No,
Oh,
not
sorry.
your
So
question.
the other person. Go ahead. Yeah.
Can you repeat what my question was?
Why should I believe or trust in the Christ God?
No, no. My question, Fluxy's question.
I think
Yeah,
at
you have
this
to.
point it's pretty apparent that he can't repeat the question for us.
No, I can't. I can't. No, sorry. Yeah.
The question I also asked you the same question.
Oh, I didn't think like you understand my question.
No, exactly. I
No,
was
sorry. There
trying to
was
help you,
a lot of
Flux. I
questions
was
were being
trying to
asked to
help you,
me, but
Fluxy, with.
fair enough. I don't. If you can repeat that to me, to be fair, apologize. Go ahead.
Wait, hold on. Wait, what was Missy saying? Go ahead, Missy.
I was just saying, like, it doesn't seem like we're going much with this, but I know PRK had something to say.
No, I didn't have anything to say.
Oh, you did.
I'd actually be curious to hear Fluxy's question again. Maybe I could see where he is just coming from. Fluxy, what's your question?
I'm on 400 ping. Yeah, so my question is what inference licenses the jump from quantitative facts to intention?
Can you clarify? Sorry.
I don't know.
Can you break it down in layman's terms, please?
So, do you
I
want me to
thought I
help
already
Flexi or you
did.
got it?
You know what quantitative facts are, right?
Yeah. So like you're talking about like mathematical. Yeah.
No, not exactly. Close.
Okay, your mic.
It's just
It's like a.
it's
like
just
a
facts to do with like numbers, right?
Yeah,
So-
numeric fact.
Any sort of fact, yeah, like numerical facts. So
Okay. Fair enough.
think of
Numerical
like the
facts.
gravity. Yeah, think about like gravitational constant, right? This is gonna be some sort of numerical fact, and nothing about like a numerical fact points us to intention, unless that premise is like justified. It doesn't go anywhere.
Well, if there
Okay,
are like certain options, like if it could be from by chance, or it's not by, like if it's not by chance, then would you say that it'd be by intention?
That's a question.
You said what? That's the question?
No, that's a question to a question.
Yeah, I'm asking you the question. Like, if it's, let's say that it was like determined that this didn't happen by chance, then would you say that it was intention?
Oh shoot.
That I don't see how that like answers my question. I don't take like interrogatives to be the sort of things that,
Like the quantitative facts, like if they were, if like the, I don't know if I'm directly addressing your question, maybe I'm not, but if the quantitative facts were set in such a way that it produced a universe that has humanity in it, do you think that that's by chance, or do you think that's by something else?
Didn't I just say I don't take like interrogatives to be like arguments?
So I'm not making an argument. I'm asking you a question.
I didn't say you're
Like,
making.
I'm
an
genuinely
argument.
curious
Yeah,
what
I
you
know
think.
you're asking a question, and I said I don't take questions. Right? The things that respond.
Oh
to
my
questions
goodness,
to be arguments.
Missy, am I tripping or what?
You don't respond to a question with a question.
Okay.
I mean, Flexi's right? So insofar as, like, if you're asked a direct question.
Actually, didn't answer
you
the
should,
question.
But
No,
if
but
you're
he
asking
didn't
for
ask me a question. I'm
clarification,
asking,
right? If you're
I'm
asking for
asking a
clarification
clarifying
on
question.
point, then it's Flexi's job.
A clarifying question about the question?
Yes,
Yeah,
why
so,
not?
like, if I have a
Asking
question
my
about your
stance,
question, I can
it's actually
clarify.
irrelevant when I'm asking for this guy to justify the inference rule. Right? I think that's pretty like clear. So what aren't you like understanding about the question I'm asking?
Well, I'm not making an argument. I'm trying to actually clarify what's going on, right? So that I don't know if my question, like, you just don't want to answer it, or that's fine. But
Like, I don't want to answer it. I want you to answer my question.
Why don't you
I
want to
said I
answer
don't
his
know
question?
to your
I don't
question.
understand.
Because it's
Flexi.
irrelevant. I could be agnostic on everything he
Well,
asked me.
irrelevant according to you, but you can just answer the question.
It's irrelevant because no matter what my answer is, right, I could
So
just be
anytime
agnostic on the
anybody doesn't
question.
want to answer, we can just say it's irrelevant.
Like, what are you saying? I'm saying that since you made an argument like to do with fine tuning, right? I could just be
Yes.
agnostic on everything he asked me. It's not going to prove any sort of intention. And now,
No,
what your burden here is to do
you're right.
is
You're
to
right about that. You're right
justify
about
the
that.
inference that you're making from quantitative facts to intention. That's your burden.
There you go.
But I'm asking you about the fine tune. When I was asking you, Flux, I was
I
asking
don't
you
care.
about fine
I'm
tuning.
agnostic on it.
Yeah, sorry, I was asking about the fine tuning. I was asking about specific things, not about what you believe or what you think or whether you want to answer a question or not. I was just asking you a specific question about those individual topics that I brought up.
Yeah, I'm just gonna be agnostic on every question you ask me. It's not gonna do you any sort of like.
Okay, fair enough. So you don't want to answer any questions. I think JC was right. You don't want to answer questions.
Yeah, I don't.
Yeah.
Questions
Okay,
are
that's
not
fair.
answered.
Yeah. Just say that then.
I really
Yeah, when
quickly
you
want to
present
be
an
like,
argument, you're supposed to
are
answer
you
the question.
asking them to provide an inference rule?
Mm.
I'm asking them to give the inference that licenses the jump from quantitative facts to intention. I don't know how many times I have to repeat myself.
No, I
when
was
I'm
just,
asking
I
you
was
this
just
sort of, like,
clarifying because if we're not gonna,
redundant
like,
question. It's just irrelevant.
I just don't think that they're going to be able to answer that. You can't. Like,
Then the argument's dead. It doesn't
yeah,
even
the
get off
argument is
ground.
dead, and that's where this is like,
Yeah.
this is gone.
That's why they can't do it.
Wait, actually,
So you
wait.
suspect the fine tuning argument is completely dead, Fluxy? Is that what you
Yep.
suspect?
Wait, actually,
100%.
Sure.
wait.
Talk to Sijuwadi, man.
Well, hold
I
on.
don't know
But
how to
hey,
express
guys,
it.
wait. So like that's perfect, right?
So Fluxy can answer fine tuning.
Well, hold
Let's
on,
go
hold on,
next
hold on.
question.
I responded. You couldn't
Wait.
answer the.
Guys, hold on. But like,
Yeah.
that's literally perfect, right? Like when it comes to like fine tuning, you're saying like there's all these like numeric facts, right? There's these things about the universe that are really precise, and then we ask the question like, okay, but like, why does that entail like intentionality? And if we can't get an answer for that, then like the fine tuning pretty much dies, right? Like we can't derive any intentionality from
Well,
like just the specificness of the parameters.
Okay, gets it.
It's either it's chance or it's not chance, right? I don't know what all the categories are, but is the precise laws put there by chance or not?
So
That's what I'm-
1 second. That's I mean
Well,
that
that's
seems
just a
that doesn't
tautology.
necessarily entail
Again,
intentionality.
you
right?
guys
I'm
can
a
jump to
determinist, so I'm going to hold
intentionality.
to something very similar, but that does not entail intentionality,
Yeah.
whether there be chance or not, right? Like,
Uh,
I'm
Plessy.
just not going to hold that there.
Yeah, it could be the case.
Shit,
That's
I
why-
have to remember
Um,
all the categories. Let me get all the categories.
By the way, Coco explained it perfectly. He explained exactly what my point is. And if you can't justify this jump that you're making, then the argument's dead. He's right.
I mean,
It's a jump that you're saying that we're making when no one's making that jump.
wait, hold
But you are
on.
making that jump.
You
That
you haven't explained the fine tune yet. Can you answer that question, please?
Oh, okay. So really
Nah.
quick. You're looking at the preciseness of the universe, and when we say you're making a jump,
Yeah.
you see the
Yeah.
preciseness, and you say intentionality is here, and we're asking you like, what's the connection? Like, why should we assume that intentionality is there?
Let's forget about intentionality. Can you explain the fine tuning of it?
I mean, it could be the case that it happened naturalistically. There's plenty of failed universes, right? We can't live on Venus or Mars.
Okay. Again, that's your answer. That's your answer. Fair enough. Okay. There is a fine tuning, though. Would you agree?
Not necessarily. It depends what you're talking about. Like,
So,
what
again,
do you mean?
No,
You have to jump to
there's not.
intentionality. Look, forget about intentionality. There is a fine tuning. That's the point I'm making. If you can disagree with that, fair enough. Give me a point.
I don't know what you mean.
Don't
So
jump.
when you
don't
mean
jump
when,
to
one second,
intentionality.
when
right?
you say fine tuning, you are assuming a fine tuner. Oftentimes.
That's why it's
So that's
avoided.
entailed within that statement. So I would say something along the lines of it's caused.
Okay. Can you explain why it's fine tuned?
I'm saying that it is not fine tuned.
Without a fine
I'm saying it is
exactly.
not
You're
fine-tuned.
saying it's not fine tuned, right? Even though
Yes.
it is fine tuned, right?
You're claiming that.
You're
What
claiming-
makes
No,
you think that?
it is.
You
think-
said
It
that
is.
because of the
Anybody,
Goldilocks zone?
anybody with a fine tooth comb can say that it's fine tuned.
So
right?
Okay, then
Just
can
because
you
say
present
it
me
is,
the? Okay,
that's
one
your
second.
opinion.
Then Juan,
right?
I'm done with this. Give me the logical syllogism as to
So-
why you think
so-
that this is correct. Why
y-
do you logically hold to these positions? If you cannot provide that to me, my worldview holds up as stronger than yours.
So there is
So-
some explanations as to why it can't be physical necessity. Now I'm reading up on it as we're speaking, because I don't run the fine tuning argument. But yeah, Missy, how it's formulated by someone like Craig or something is like it could be physical necessity, chance, or design, and he thinks that it's not physical necessity or chance. So
Why
he
we,
does
like, broaden that
consider
down?
that. He does consider. I just wanted to say
I'm
that
gonna
he
need
does
him to
consider
just say why it's not.
Yeah, yeah.
He's just going to
And I'm
say like,
reading the
oh, it's
literature as we're
intentionality, and he's
speaking
not
right
going to
now.
provide like a I would need to see.
But
his
would you be
motivation.
open to actually looking at his argument and seeing why he's saying
William
it's not
Lane
physical
Craig?
necessity?
No, because
Yeah.
he's horrible at making
Okay,
arguments.
so
A
that's
better
just being
person,
that's
yes.
close-minded. And that's close-minded.
No. William Lane Craig is just stupid, and like I personally
I
would
think he's a
rather
good
get it from
debater.
someone who's intelligent.
Yeah, according to you, yeah.
I like William Lane Craig. I'm not gonna lie.
Yeah, he's a good debater. He's prepared. He's well
No,
prepared.
he's a preacher.
It's like
he
a
doesn't
lawyer.
actually have very good like stuff to fucking stand on. He's just very passionate
I bet
and
you
a
he
good
can
rhetoric.
justify
Well, I
the
think his arguments like he has the right idea, but they're hard to motivate. Like you can't like
I mean,
the
if he's
Kalam.
running the fine-tuning argument, then I'm just going to hold that he's not a good apologist.
You can't even get
they're
rid of the
good
fine tuning
apologists that run
argument.
the fine tuning argument.
Sure, but I'm just not going to hold that they're.
Wait, I got a question for you, Missy.
Wait,
I
Missy.
have to leave. I got a restriction. What did I
Yeah,
get restricted for?
I think it's
Yeah,
Going
miss.
back in time.
Miss. Yeah.
Yeah.
Right, but look.
Drop
you
real
still
quick. Wait
haven't-
10 minutes. I'll bring you back.
She couldn't explain the fine tuning argument. Yeah.
Wait, no. Well, I don't think you
The
guys were
argument
like.
died.
I don't think you guys were explaining the fight to argument correctly. To be well, in the sense of like.
No, I mean the argument. I can't explain it well because I don't know it too well. But I know the argument, Coco, is that it's either physical necessity, chance, or design. And I would just like look into that more. I'm gonna look into
Why is
it
the
more. myself.
modality so like small? Why can't it be like metaphysical necessity?
Yeah, could be that.
It could be metaphysically necessary.
Can't aim for shit.
Is that what you're saying?
Host, you believe in metaphysics?
I'm not sure. I mean, like, I don't deny it. Like, I'm not a pure physicalist.
Well,
So
you can be a
metaphysics is something
physicalist
that you
and
would,
you're still
Would you
like
take that as some
spiritual
sort of
right?
truth?
I think yeah, there's probably like metaphysical things, like maybe the laws of logic, or well, actually, yeah.
Wait, Coco, I think you're like a bit confused because physicalism is a metaphysical theory.
Oh,
So, wait,
yeah.
Fluxy,
I might
do
be
you-
confused. No, dead ass. Yeah.
Do you think the constants
Sorry?
could have been another way, or do you think that they are necessary?
Well, I don't think like anything concrete can be necessary.
Okay, so it's contingent. The
Yeah,
constants. All right.
Yeah.
So
definitely.
yeah. So then yeah,
It might
Missy.
be.
So it would be either like chance or design. So
Yeah,
yeah.
because I'm like a modal monist, right? So I could hold to like Brew contingency, and you could say maybe in every single universe, like numerological constants are necessary in the universes that they exist. I don't mind saying that, but I'm not like committed that these things are going to be necessary as like
Right.
a modal monist unless it's like logical necessity.
Yeah. Yeah, and that's going to be hard to show that it's a logical necessity. So
Yo.
Can I ask?
I don't think it's logically
Go for
necessary.
it.
Like, isn't it the case, right, that anything that happens is either going to be like necessarily following from its cause, or have some measure of possibility space and therefore involve chance? And isn't that also true of design, right? So if there's design, it's also going to then be a question of, is it designed by necessity or designed by chance, or some mix of the two, right? So it's not really a trichotomy, because one of them is a different question.
interesting. Yeah, I mean, I don't know how to respond to that.
Are you talking about causality, or are you talking about like predestination?
Yeah, I am, right? Like if there's a designer, well, do they design by necessity or chance? right? You
Are
can
you
just
talking
ask the
about like
question of
human
the
beings
design.
or like what, like buildings or like what do
Oh,
you
it
mean?
could be different. It could be things like human beings are by necessity, but free will is by chance. Like you could pick and choose different things, but everything is going to be some mixture of necessary causation or just chance, like uncaused stuff.
Okay, so I think you're talking about free will. Am I? You can
No, it
correct
just
me if I'm
connects to
wrong.
free will. This is
Let's
just
go.
causality, though.
Okay, but let me
Are we talking about like everything that has an
Oh
cause
shit,
and
guys, look
effect,
at the screen. Look
or
at the
is
screen.
it free will? Those are two different things,
Oh,
right?
wait.
They are
Compass,
two different
woo!
things,
Way
but
to go
they're
on your win.
Yeah, wait. Fluxy was carrying.
Nice.
Yo.
Oh, she okay. No, go ahead. No, I know. Fair. The person who asked that question, yeah, that's a fair question. I just only asked, is it free will? Is it causality?
Wait, hold on. Hold on,
there's
guys.
a-
Wait. What'd you say, Fluxy?
No, sorry. Hold on. Let him. Let the brother answer.
Wait, hold on, really quick.
I was on 400 ping.
You were on 400 what?
And 400 ping. And could you like promote me party leader so I'm not like super laggy?
Say what?
Could you promote me to party leader?
Oh.
Like come back to lobby and promote me party leader.
Oh, okay.
Are you playing Fluxy?
Wait.
Yeah, man.
But wait, Fluxy. But do no build. I want to do no build duos. Do you want to do build?
Okay, we're doing it. Yeah, I mean I like building, but I've been banned for like a year. I just got unbanned today.
Oh. Okay.
Ooh, I cannot stand builds. By the way,
Yeah, build. Like I don't know. I don't know.
Tagged again?
Yeah, but like we'll wait it out. Just stay up here. We'll wait it out. Give it like 10 minutes. Just everyone be on their best
Since I
behavior.
was talking about the fine tuning. What do you mean, TikTok?
I think it's because you called William Lane Craig stupid.
Oh.
Yeah, you bully.
That's
I'm
funny as
such a
fuck. If that's
bully.
why she got banned, that's hilarious.
Yeah.
I'm such a bully. Oh my. No.
But actually, we can do. Let's do one more round of zero build, and then we can do build. But like,
Yeah, let's do it on my server though, so I'm not on 400 ping and we could get like more kills.
oh okay.
I would carry both of y'all, but I hate BRs.
Oh.
No, you would not carry me, bro.
Party.
Okay.
Wait, how do I make you?
Highest
leader?
rank on, or I guess like just what's your average MMR in a game?
Let's see.
My average what?
MMR.
MMR?
Yeah, or like it's like gold, silver, plat, diamond,
Probably
GC.
like champs or unreal and builds. I don't play zero build.
So, well, I mean in like most games in general.
Okay.
Yeah,
Okay.
I mean I play in like unreal ranked lobbies.
Yeah, so I guess what I mean is like I play a lot of first person, and so I play Apex. Even that's the first only BR. I play
Ew.
Overwatch. I play CS. I played Valorant.
Ew.
I've done all of those things. Like I play MR. I carry people. I'm not gonna lie. My back hurts.
No. But
Hey, it was nice talking to you guys. I'm gonna take off, but take care. Thank you.
Okay, come back anytime.
Yeah.
Stop running fine
Fine tuning is a good argument, bro. Keep on.
No,
that.
it's
Keep
not.
at
No,
it,
it's
bro.
not. Don't
it's
listen.
not a good
Okay, guys.
argument.
It's
I
not a good
suspect it's a
argument.
good argument. Keep on.
That's
Like,
too bad that
And
he
like
has to go.
psychophysical harmony and come back.
I'm a Luna main, Prince.
what about nomological harmony, Fluxy?
Wait, hold on.
Yeah,
Wait. The reason that we thought that fine tuning was bad is because you guys couldn't really like give us a motivation for why we should suspect intentionality with the numeric facts about the universe.
I'm still convinced that there is some type of trichotomy, even though Machine Elf's objection. I actually might talk to you privately about that, Machine Elf.
Well, the
but
trichotomy
if
only
that-
works
I think
if
it's
it was
two
that
different
trichotomy
dichotomies.
is existent, then I think there's something there that we can investigate at least. Could it be chance, design, or necessity? And that's actually a true trichotomy. I think that's interesting. Yeah.
Okay, well, if
Okay.
that's a true I don't see that as a true trichotomy. How are those analyses? Like, I guess that confuses me. Where it's like, okay,
But
we
what-
have
what else-
physical necessity or something else. It seems as if that's the question.
And after you guys finish,
I
I'll
think
let Air ask me a question. But
Oh
go
well,
ahead.
like to clear this up, JC Rose. Like, what's the opposite? What's the negation of designed?
The negation of design would be, I guess, like randomness.
Oh, okay. So Well,
That's
really?
like-
So what's the difference between designed and necessity?
Necessity means that it must have been that way. Designed means that it could have
Yeah,
been.
this is embarrassing, bro.
I don't know, dude. Like, I'm trying to figure it
If
out
he
as
asks
we
you for
go.
the negation of a design,
No,
right?
wait,
it's gonna
Flexi,
be
Flexi, one, wait. I'm just happy that PRK is right.
Yeah, but what he
Like,
says
not
false,
not
not
everyone
wrong.
is going to use the same like kind of rhetoric, right? And so when someone's engaging with substance, I think it's important that we encourage them to engage with it in whatever way
Yeah,
they're
cool. I agree, but I'm just explaining that he's wrong.
All right, cool. I'm trying to figure it out. So, what's the opposite of necessity or design?
Well,
Not
to me,
designed.
it seems like you have chance and necessity are a dichotomy, but then designed, I would say the negation is not designed. And something that's not designed could still be necessary or by chance, right?
God
They
damn
could
it.
still be either one of those.
Oh well, that's on me.
Yeah.
So that's why I'm saying you have two dichotomies. The universe is either designed or not designed, and it's also either, well, necessary or random, but really that's not a dichotomy either, because certain things could be necessary and some things could be random. It's not like everything has to be one or the other.
Right, there are gray areas to
Guys,
it.
look at my whole fucking case, my phone case.
Pokemon, gotta catch 'em all.
I just tried building.
Base. No, I kind of want to play Pokemon on my computer, but no, I'm gonna play build.
And then it
What's that
pops
one dude that
off.
lost to that AR lost to that was running fine tuning?
Mm.
Do you guys remember?
I'm just going to
Oh.
be I'll just look into a lot of like the original literature, and then I'll look into. I mean, I've read a lot of stuff.
Oh darn.
I've
Alright,
read
we're
a
playing
lot of
builds
it,
now.
right?
Not gonna lie.
Yeah, we can play build. Go ahead.
But when it comes to fine tuning, what about it seems to be such a strong argument in your case? Do you want me to call
I'm
you
not
JC
saying it's
Rose,
such a
or do
strong
you want me to
argument.
call you-
It seems to be like in compelling. It could be true. I don't know. It just seems to be like
I
that for
think
me.
it's
But
intuitive. I'll give it that. It is intuitive to the average person. And I think that's the thing it has going for it. It's another reason why I think Craig runs it. Is that it is very good at feeling correct. And seeming correct. Does that make sense?
yeah, of course that makes sense.
It is
I would say-
unintuitive to me as well, Machina. But
The thing is,
we
that
aren't
we
the
are.
average, right? We think about things to think about things and think about things. Other people don't.
And the thing is, if we are truly fine tuned, we wouldn't have things like our wisdom teeth that invades our mouth and actually, pushes our jawline forward. We wouldn't have things like our appendix, which can randomly burst, and we wouldn't breathe through the same hole we eat in. That's not intuitive.
Well, I don't think that's what like fine tuning is trying to say. Is that we are perfectly designed or anything? I think it's just saying that the universe is in such a way that it allows for human life. So that's it.
Also, when you make a claim that something is wrong, oh yeah, by the way, Coco, this is Prince. My other backup account. got
We could
banned
tell.
as
We could
well.
tell.
I will follow it.
Yeah, TikTok hates me. I don't know why. When you make this claim that the fact that you breathe through the same hole that you eat through is not like showing some type of sign of design, or that it's not intuitive, what epistemic access do you have to make that claim? That a designer would design some type of life that would breathe through a different hole than the one that they eat through.
Well, because we see life that actually has that happening, where we don't breathe through the same hole we eat through. You'd be surprised at how many animals out there don't actually have that fatal flaw, because it's really, really easy to choke.
But what does that have to do with the design? It could be
Well,
a
what
crappy
happens
design
when
in
you
your opinion.
choke? Let me ask you that.
Then
Well, it's just not relevant to fine tuning. I don't think.
Yeah, like that doesn't change
It is
anything.
very relevant
Well,
to fine
she's
tuning.
like talking about intelligent design. It sounds like.
Yeah, I think that's what she's talking about. Intelligent
Because
design.
like most strong versions of fine tuning are to do with like probability of life, right? not like life conditions, just probability of life.
Yeah, I grant that.
Where do you guys?
Most versions. That's why I'm partial to Luke Barnes' version of fine tuning. I think it's the most base version.
Yeah, I think there's
Yes,
this
like
other
the
guy named
reverse
Sijuwati that runs something like what he runs. Yeah, it's like a Bayesian
Give,
thing.
give me,
Could
give me
you
the
send it to
debate.
me?
Oh wait,
Yeah, I
the
can send it to
Bayesian
you.
one is like a lot stronger.
Bayesian?
Yeah.
You gotta get okay.
Oh,
Okay, if you're going to run this Bayesian stuff, you need to do the reading.
Oh, I'm not running it. I never said I was running it.
No,
I'm
but
just
if
saying
you
that there
are
are.
pushing and encouraging it, at least I've seen
Well,
that.
even Fluxy just said it's much stronger version of the argument. That's all I'm saying.
Oh, I would agree, but I think you need to do the. I just personally think that's what I've started doing some of the reading around it, and it's helped me a lot.
Missy, do you like watching debates?
I do.
It depends. I like watching good faith interlocutors have a discussion about something
God.
complex.
If you want to learn about the fine tuning argument offered by Luke Barnes, he has a really good debate between him and Alex Malpis. I watched it because
I know
we
Luke
Malpass.
Barnes. I would be down to watch that.
Yeah, it's pretty fire. So if you want to learn about it and like the angle he takes with Bayesian probability, Alex Malpis gives him some good arguments. And I think it's a good debate. Oh, I say it wrong.
Alex
Malpass,
Malpass
Malpis.
like fine tuning arguments a shit argument.
You
They
just
did
said
take-
there's an argument that why do you think the Bayesian argument's strong? Have you looked into that one?
I just think Bayesian analysis is going to be stronger than like the fine tuning on its own.
It offers
has-
a symmetry breaker between fine tuning and it like the universe appearing fine tuned and it being caused by a creator.
Well, I see it more as it having, it's propping it up with more evidentiary kind of ideals, probabilistic.
I watched like
it's-
Sticks debate the Bayesian fine tuning, and I think he had like really good critiques.
Oh yeah, Sticks. He's a goat. I'm not gonna lie. He's one of the smartest dudes I've seen on his app.
Okay, he's not gonna like, you know.
He's pretty cool. He's actually he's really good. I like Sticks too. That debate was fire. I need more highlights in regards to debates that I host. I think the best debate I've hosted so far is Dr. Ryan Mullins versus Dr. Kirshner. But I need to outdo myself.
I'm not gonna lie. I keep running into people who keep claiming open theism, and I just genuinely think it's such a disadvantage for you if you're not Ryan Mullins. You just don't have the academic background and like the well
Wait,
of
what's the issue
information that
with
he has to
open
justify it.
theism?
It like completely disregards classical theistic properties. So like open theism claims you can use temporal language with God. I think that's insane.
Okay. Well, that's the view.
Yeah. But also like I mean it does knock out a lot of the arguments that like somebody would argue typically against classical theism, right? Like so if I'm doing like problem of evil, okay, well God doesn't know the future, so like he's getting surprised by people's actions, so I can't really blame him for certain things. And then like other issues. I guess you could still argue divine hiddenness. Yeah, sure.
Maybe he's just well. Then they could say something like, "Well, he's just not aware, of these sort of like."
Or they could just say he
physics and
doesn't care.
non-beliefs.
Oh yeah, that's true. He's not aware. Or
No, I
doesn't care.
grant that open theism is really good at getting rid of arguments, but then it just doesn't sound like the same God that people have been serving, quote unquote,
Are
and
you
talking
just saying
about.
that
for
it sounds like
2000.
an ad hoc theory?
Yeah, extremely ad hoc.
Oh yeah, I would agree.
Yeah, it definitely does sound like that.
Oh, yeah,
What do you guys think if the Kalam was successful, it would just be some magical like ball or some object or something that caused the universe? Like, what do you guys think about that?
Kalam.
They're just
I mean,
gonna say the universe is infinite.
Yeah.
Yeah, no. I know. I said if the Kalam is successful and we're left with some non-physical entity that caused the universe, what would you guys go about saying that entity would be, or what would you speculate it is?
I would most likely start to take a rationalist position rather than an empiricist position. If I'm going to be honest, if I was truly convinced, I would probably start with
my God.
rationalism over empiricism.
Yeah.
I seriously need to get a wire for my computer. 'Cause-
Missy, you're a cognitivist, right?
I don't know. Don't ask me those questions. I'm still reading.
Okay.
I'm a non-cognitivist.
But yeah,
Okay,
Fluxy,
convince me.
what would you
Fluxy-
think?
Fluxy, convince me.
what I think. And you cut off?
Convince me. I'm still on the fence. Convince me.
No, someone just asked me, like, Fluxy, what do you think of? And then just like talking.
Yeah, I was gonna ask you, what do you think of, if there was like some non-physical entity that caused the universe, what do you think that would be?
It's hard to say because I don't really have like a theory on that. But
Yeah.
if it was non-physical, probably not a mind. I don't know why I would think it's a mind. Like it could be some sort of like naturalistic entity that causes universe to come about.
Maybe I should try.
And naturalistic entities don't have to be physical, in your view?
They don't have to. No.
Okay.
How would you define physical in your understanding you're using it here?
Just anything that abides by the laws of physics.
Well, does it have to be our laws of physics? Could it be different laws of physics?
Yeah, our laws of physics.
Okay, I suck at this.
Right, but I mean, like, if we discover a new law that is more foundational, like, just because it's not in our current set of laws, it's still physics, right? So it's just any law that we get from reality would be physics.
Any law we get from reality would be physics.
Like that we infer from reality.
Yes, that seems to be right, yeah.
Okay, fair enough.
I'm unsure about that, machine, because isn't the definition of physical and like physics itself going to be the laws that govern our universe?
Yeah, totally, right? But if we lived in a different universe, we would just have different physics. But yes,
Yeah,
like
I agree
in our
with that.
universe, physics is
Not
just
even like a
the
physics
things
lesson.
that reliably describe reality. Like that's all it is.
Okay, and so you're saying if reality included things that were not physical or not within this universe, then that would also be considered physical in some sense.
If it is reliable in any way, but even if it's not, it would just be something like quantum mechanics that's weird, where we just don't have an explanation, but stuff happens. If it's real, it'll be observable, and if it's observable, it'll be describable, and so it'll just be part of our physics if it's real.
That makes sense.
Yeah, so I'm not even sure if this distinction is possible.
So you're just saying that there's no distinction between, like, I'm okay, yeah,
Let
I
me
see
put it
what you're
this way,
saying.
like, yeah, this will make it really understandable. If we lived in a magical world with fire breathing and magic, everything you can think of, and also nothing's physical, it's all made of like magical consciousness sauce. If it follows rules, then in that world we will have science and
it's
physics,
physical.
and it'll
Those
be
things
based
would
on
just be
those rules.
immaterial.
Like
That
you
makes
can't just have no rule fireballs. There's going to be some rules about it, right?
Okay, yeah, so maybe that's a good point, Prince. Maybe then we should go towards it being immaterial. I think that might be a better way to view this.
Meaning not having mass, because that's also not.
Yeah,
very
that's
But
specific.
then,
included in
but
our
then if
universe,
it's
yeah,
immaterial, I don't want to say it's just immaterial because there are other things that are immaterial, like the quantum fluctuations, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
The quantum fluctuations would be immaterial, and I don't want to.
Well,
So
what I was trying to say
I
is,
would go
given
non-physical.
machine's definition, the thing that you brought up outside of the universe that you described as non-physical would literally just be an immaterial, quote, technically physical thing outside of the universe. If that makes sense.
No, I understand. I understand that. Yeah. So, I mean, technically, if it would be an immaterial physical thing, even then, what do you think that would be? I guess it would just be some natural process or some.
It sounds like he's just defining existence as something that is physical, right? It sounds like he
Yeah.
has some sort of idiosyncratic definition of what's meant by physical.
Who? What?
Yeah, because that's not what like most people take physical. to
Well,
be.
I don't think most people have any idea what they're saying when they say physical. They haven't thought about it. If you really think about it, what can we actually make distinctions on? And really, there's just going to be things that we can describe by laws and things we can't. That's the real distinction.
I would say I would just define physical as things composed by mass, but maybe that's not great.
No, but then that doesn't work for what machines
That doesn't
saying.
include.
Yeah, there's
light,
lots of things that don't have
energy.
mass that are just real. There's just things that exist and things that don't, really. Like if there was
That's why I
something
said
different.
it sounds like he's defining existence as physical.
No, I'm saying that what is a coherent difference between existence and physical? Like what is one, honestly?
Well, Well, I think abstracts exist and they're not physical.
That just is using a different definition than the one that I was talking about. Like, if you just mean that there's things that don't have spatial temporal existence, but they exist in a non-spatial temporal way, like, sure, but isn't that still just physical? Like the Pythagorean
Well,
theorem, it doesn't
no.
physically
It
exist.
just confirms what I was saying before. You're just defining existence as physical.
I'm trying. Look, forget that whole thing you're saying. I'm not making some kind of like semantic thing. I'm saying there's a real distinction, which is things that are describable, like that exist in a specific way, and things that are not describable and thus don't exist in a specific way that repeats or has any regularity. That's those are two things. And everything's going to fit in those two categories. And if you have one category, I don't know if there's any other meaningful distinction that you can go like physical, non-physical, beyond that.
Yeah, this is just like the weird.
Do you get it though?
No.
Well, like what I need for you is a counterexample of something that exists that is not describable by, I guess that is describable by laws that you would not say as physical to people who exist in that reality. Because as I said, if magic was real and it was based on
Yeah,
laws.
see, this is what I mean. All you're saying is if you can coherently describe something that exists by your definition, that's physical.
What?
Your
Forget
definition's
the word
like
physical. Focus on the meaning of what I'm saying, not the words.
Okay, well, if you're just saying anything that exists that we can coherently like speak about, then like I don't have an issue with that.
Yeah, I guess I actually did that poorly at the end there. What I mean is like whatever you think is not physical, give me that example and I'll explain how in that universe we would just have different physics. You're just describing a different world.
Yeah. I'll explain something that I think's not physical, the mind.
Oh, the mind. Oh, okay, but that's just something, I guess it might not be physical, maybe. But then let me think about that. So that would mean, let me ask you this, does the mind behave by rules that can be discovered?
I don't know. I don't
No.
know.
Okay. So it would fall into the category of things that don't behave by any rules. It's just like random.
No, I said I don't know what you're asking me.
Well, I'm taking you back to the initial dichotomy. Either it follows rules and we can figure out some of those, or it doesn't follow any rules. The mind.
I don't know what you're asking. Like, what do you mean
Any
by when
regular
you say
rule,
it
right?
follows
Does every single mind
Like,
always go
does it
from one
follow
thought to
logical
another?
rules?
Is there any set of properties that is true of minds, that like a regularity?
I don't know.
Okay, that's fair. That's totally fair. But I just point out
Coherency.
either way, it's either going to be a random thing with no rules, or if it has rules, when we discover them, that'll just be part of our physics. It won't be physics, it'll be psychology, but it's a part of reality, rules about reality.
I
It'll be
don't-
How are you
I don't-
one machine? How
I
are you
don't
just
think you can follow. I don't think you can like even discover anything about like the mind, right? And how I'm using the mind is going to be like qualia. I think that's impossible. Like even in principle,
Sure, maybe, yeah.
to reduce it down to third person components and discover what I'm thinking right now. I think
Yeah, maybe.
you know, experience is just inherently private and it cannot be like explained by anything else. Like
Yeah, there's a couple ways where it might be impossible. Even under a physicalist account, there's a couple ways.
machine? How
I
are you
don't know.
defining
I find
physical?
your questions like very confusing.
I don't think it's super confusing. I think it's just like people, like, I feel like, I don't think you're doing it on purpose, but I think there's certain words people use, like in the normal debate, like physicalism versus non-physicalism, confuses the understanding of what I'm trying to say. I'm just saying, like, does a thing behave by certain rules? Then if you discover what that rule is, you can describe it as a scientific principle, as a law, right? And if you can do that, it'll just be part of naturalism.
Okay, yeah, now we're getting somewhere. Okay, so if it can be explained by some sort of rule, okay, let's say the mind can be explained by like the rule of logic. I don't believe that, but like let's just say it follows like the rule of logic. Well, if you're saying that's going to be a scientific principle, well, that's just obviously false because science already presupposes logic when it's doing its methods, right? So it can't be like some sort of antecedent or something more fundamental.
Yeah, I don't know if that's really relevant here. Like, I can justify logic, like why it's true necessarily, but I don't even really have to, right? If it's just something that everyone has to work with necessarily. Like, it's one of those things where you either if you abandon it, then you abandon your ability to debate.
Yo, based.
1 second. I really do want to get a little caught up. Machine, if you could TLDR really quickly.
Oh,
what you-
14 kills I'm carrying, bro.
Bruh, like I
Could you
didn't-
reiterate your position?
Yeah.
Because I'm currently reading.
Well, Missy, this is actually really interesting because I started all this with Alex, but like PCR or PSR was talking about the whole thing with like physicalism and non-physical, and it's like, well, what does that mean? What do people mean by physical? Because they could mean material things with mass, but then what about energy? Anytime you make a definition, you can point to a thing that just exists, and it's like, well, that doesn't fit the definition, but that's clearly natural. That's clearly physical. What we really,
Whoa,
what we
is it?
really-
Is it?
It depends on
This
your
is to
definition of physical.
presuppose. This is to presuppose empiricism over rationalism.
No, I'm going to get to that point. The point is that it's indistinguishable, Missy. If there was what we would think of as magic in the world and it just happened and it behaved by certain rules, it would just be part of our natural world. It would just be part of our science. With the
Sure,
only
but
thing
does that
can
mean
be
it's
magical
physical?
are things that don't exist.
So wait, so you're saying that things that are magical don't exist, and things
Well,
that
they-
do
they-
exist are natural? Are you?
We would see them as natural. The only
Okay.
reason why it seems magical is because we don't know that they exist.
Wait,
If we
I
knew
get
it,
what you're saying.
yeah.
Okay.
Sure. So, but
I would
again,
agree. Anything that exists, like, would be natural, yeah. I wouldn't say it's physical. I think you're, like, equivocating on the word physical and
Exactly.
It just depends on the definition. Like, be more precise, because people mean all kinds of things. They don't even
I would
understand what
agree.
they mean.
Anything that exists is physical, yeah.
Well, yeah, like,
not
but what's the
physical, natural.
any other distinguishing thing is just going to be arbitrary, like a thing with
If-
math or not. Okay,
If God
why?
existed, he would be natural. If the Christian God existed,
Yes.
he would be natural. Yeah.
Yes, but because assuming he exists, he's going to behave by certain rules. Anything
no,
that
no,
exists
no,
does.
no. God would be a supernatural position. It would be a supernaturalist position because it would be taken
Why?
and saying that the things that exist with God can exist outside of the natural. So
Well, what
that's
does
not
natural mean? Things that are not
necessarily
God?
true.
But like, like, what do you mean by natural? Just things that are
so-
not God?
so-
Is that just
so
an arbitrary
natural
definition?
would be things that follow the law of nature.
What is the law of nature?
Pretty simple. So something that is consistent and coherent.
This is right.
So if it
Yeah, is
follows,
God not consistent and coherent?
he does not have to be, right? So dependent upon.
then-
so, but
well, then
so
he doesn't
in that
exist.
regard, right? Then he would be it would be a supernaturalist position.
Yeah, I mean,
I,
like,
I
think
agree
about-
because he wouldn't exist, Missy. What you just
I
described
agree with
is
Missy,
not
actually.
possible.
Missy
Yeah,
Sure,
explained it
sure,
well.
but it's still a position that's held. It is outside of the natural system.
Oh, but this is why people still debate it though, because you can hold to an impossible made up thing that no one can falsify because it's impossible and then go, I win. But it's like, I can't work with that. I have to work within things that are not contradictory.
Yeah,
Sure.
but by naturalism, we just mean what's consistent with the system of, like, numerological laws, right?
Yeah,
Yeah,
that's
but
what
everything that
If God,
exists,
wait,
that's-
I'm still like talking.
Sorry, my bad.
If God exists, right? Like, let's just say, for example, God of the Bible. Obviously, he breaks numerological laws countless times, right? So, obviously, he wouldn't be natural by that sort of definition.
By our
because
laws
he's
currently,
not consistent with it.
not consistent with our current laws. But if he exists, he's going to have laws, his own laws. So then it's just you saying, well, we're calling the laws of the greater reality that encompasses ours.
No.
supernatural.
You could,
But that's
okay,
just
listen.
like a yeah.
Listen, you could say, like, there's going to be some sort of numerological laws that we don't understand. But if there are, considering the numerological laws that we do understand and what we do know, we do have knowledge on, if God breaks these numerological laws, he's not consistent with numerological laws. Now, if you're saying that there's going to be some sort of numerological laws that conflate with each other, that can't be possible under, like, numerological modality.
No, not that.
Because what you're saying is, like, imagine a logical law, right? A rule of logic that just conflates with other logical laws. That wouldn't
No,
be
I'm not.
included within the set because it would break the rules of within the set. So, like,
No.
it can't be within.
Fluxy, I'm saying God would have his own laws that are more fundamental than our laws, and then they wouldn't contradict
Well, then
ours.
it's
They
not
would be
natural.
the grounding of ours.
Then he's not natural.
No, he's like for our perspective, but that's just an arbitrary relative
No,
thing. That's like
he's-
saying
he's
the
not
ant.
consistent.
That would be just like
He's
that would be
not-
like a bacteria saying
Yeah,
we're
he's not-
supernatural.
he's not. Listen, he's not natural because he breaks numerological laws.
Our
Us
current
who are
laws.
bacteria us to a bacteria, we don't break nomological laws.
What
They don't break
laws do you think
nomological laws.
bacteria are aware of, even if they had super intelligence from their perspective?
I
What
don't
laws
think
could
they're
they
like
have? They couldn't have all of them.
I don't know, but they definitely. I don't know what laws they think they have, right? Obviously,
No,
I'm
you'd
not
have
a
to
mind
give them
reader. But
like
look,
mind.
all I'm saying is that whatever they do and whatever they follow is consistent with nomological laws. Otherwise, it wouldn't be possible.
I think
The only laws that can't just be changed and then it would just seem natural.
I don't
Would
even
just
think
like,
you listened to a single word I just said.
I did listen to the words you said. Yeah.
I honestly don't think.
Well, I sort of get what's like both you guys are saying. So like so Flexi. Well, okay. Machine Elf is basically saying,
He's saying that
like
they break our laws, our current laws that we understand how reality works,
Yeah,
right? But but he also admitted, and I agree, that it can't contradict our laws. That just means it doesn't exist, and I agree. If there is some
that
law
just means
that
it's
is
not
deeper than
natural.
our reality, it's just going to be another set of laws that we don't have access to, but still laws, right?
Yeah.
From
So like
God's perspective, it's natural.
Yeah. So like from our perspective, we're limited, and like we think that this is like the limit of like the laws, right? But from God's perspective, no. Like He knows of other laws and like other things. He's kind of outside our limits. So like, yeah. I
If
understand.
anything, we're supernatural. You know what I mean? Because God is just what reality is, and He makes us. We're supernatural. We're the extra thing.
I'm sorry, but I feel as if you're presupposing that the supernatural must exist with rules. I don't think that that's necessarily the case.
Oh, I think it is, because if it doesn't have rules, Missy, then it doesn't exist in any particular way. There's no distinguishing one way over another without rules.
Do you know what's really embarrassing? Imagine getting killed in Fortnite by like a Kim Kardashian skin. Like that's just horrendous. But do you get a never mind. Continue.
But
while
I
we're
think
off
when
topic
we're
for a
talking about
second.
this, I do want to ask, like, are you just
Okay.
presupposing? Sorry, Graham, go ahead.
Just while we're off topic for a second, I came across a video where there was some people debating. It might have been Dean or something, but they had a chess clock, and it was amazing.
Yeah, like they were tapping. Yeah.
Yeah, it was so good. It kept everybody, mindful of their own time and including and giving time to the other person. It was really good.
Yeah. I watched that debate too. I need to take notes on it. And Emily, whatever her name is, that was debating Dean, she's like an atrocious person.
Oh, I agree.
Yeah.
All right. Sorry about the aside.
Go for it.
I would ask, Machina, are you saying that, like, rationalism is just, it cannot exist? I guess I'm kind of curious about the more fundamental question there, like the start.
I'm not sure on vocab or like what rationalism is exactly. Does that matter, or should I just try to answer or elaborate
You
on
can
what?
think of it like, you can think of it like idealism. Idealism is very close to it. So think of it like this. Your epistemology is going to, either we start in the mind, we start in the physical, right? That's the two substances. That's why we have like the dualistic position as well, right? That's basic. So which one of those are you holding to epistemically?
Right. Well, I have the same issue with basically everything, right? Like, what is mind stuff? Like, we know we can say that physical stuff is just stuff that's describable in particular ways. But then that's just going to be everything that is describable, right? So that means that mind stuff is just not describable stuff. But if it's not describable, how is it causal? How is it what's foundational? Like, I don't understand what it is if it's not just things that could be described by laws.
So are you trying to say that would be a coherency, right? Like that still exists under that's fine to exist under a rationalist's position. The question really comes down to, we have to start with, and I'm a foundationalist. I'm assuming you're probably we both answer yes to the proposition. I can trust my senses up until a point, and logic. The laws of logic exist, right? We both would grant that.
Mm-hmm.
What about that requires the physical and not the mind.
What I'm saying is that the physical mental distinction is more confusing when the situation is really there are things that follow consistent rules or have consistent properties, which means they follow classical logic. Like you can describe them and they're not just going to randomly change the property. They have distinct specific ways that they exist. If that's
fine
on,
within
if that's on the
that's
table,
fine within a rationalist's position as well.
I don't know what the rationalist position is yet.
The
You said it has
rationalist
something to do with
position is just
idealism?
starting with the mind. So rather than saying there's physical
Right,
stuff
but then
first,
what is mind
we're
stuff?
saying, yeah, mind stuff is going to be just the conceptual, so all things that can exist within a mind.
Oh, well then, I mean, I guess I'm an idealist, right? Like, I think that what's conceptual would just be things that are not spatio-temporal but exist, which is just going to be things like logical structures, right? Like,
Yeah,
and stuff like that. Like
basically,
what we would call concepts when we have them in our mind.
Sure. So then would you say that that is the foundation, right? We start with the conceptual or the coherent, and then we go towards the empirical. Or are you saying we start with the empirical and go towards the rational? That's really the question. I'm on the fence. I'm currently a dualist, right? Because I just can't. Hey,
I just don't understand.
Let me read my phenomenology in peace, Flexi. Go piss off.
I don't understand what distinction is like the point of contention here, when essentially it just seems to me that everything that exists in any capacity, whatever you call it, is going to have to exist in some particular set of ways, or at least one particular way. And if that's the case, conscious creatures will be able to describe or investigate it in those particular ways, and they will see them as just a part of their world. It's just natural.
Sure.
And so if that's just what we are talking about, then I don't understand what mental stuff would be that's different from physical stuff in a meaningful sense. Because I would say that conceptual things like the Pythagorean theorem, they exist just as naturally as physical things do. And if we just say that those are fundamental and that's what you mean by
But those are
idealism
mind
or
stuffs.
mind
Those aren't
stuff,
physical stuffs. Like the Pythagorean theorem is mind stuffs. That's not physical stuffs.
if you say so, but then I don't see why this. I don't think it's appropriate then to like make this distinction that people say between this being what's important of mental and physical, right? Because that just means spatial temporal versus not spatio-temporal. That's the distinction you're talking about.
Yes, that is the basic question that's being asked. Like that is the most fundamental
Or at
question
least not
that's being
temporal.
asked.
Because Pythagorean theorem thing is like actually spatio-dependent. It depends on space, but it doesn't depend on time. But there are some things that don't depend on either.
Yeah, like there's mind stuffs. I think we can all. I think a great example of some mind stuff.
Right, but we don't understand mind
guys suck.
stuff like we understand physical
No,
stuff.
I recognize it, and
They're
I'm not
getting
going to say it's a
one
substance. Right,
You know.
obviously, I'm not going to hold to a substance dualist position. But
Property dualism based.
I'm not a property dualist yet either completely. Like I'm really struggling with the idea of coherency being like a foundational principle and it needing to
is
be.
this your friend Coco?
Yeah, the other guy that's in our party, yeah.
Lexi, you talked to me yesterday, brother. I'm just on a different account. I'm the nigga who ran the nomological harmony argument.
Yeah, it's Prince.
I'm saying that word.
Oh my.
I still have yet to be presented that argument. I have been asking to be presented the nonological harmony argument, still haven't been given it.
I'll tell it to you after you and Machine are done.
Yeah, but Machine, do you kind of
Am I not?
see what I'm getting at? Cart here, like right.
Am I holding everybody up? Oh.
Well, I mean, I agree with you. I just think the language that people use is really like
I agree.
frustrating the situation, right? Like people are like attaching labels to the same thing that they're talking about, and it's like now different people can. Oh, I'm a physicalist. I'm an idealist, and they're talking about the exact same thing. It's very weird, right?
Well, and I think that has to do with a lot of, and I'm very much guilty of this myself, which is why I'm trying to do more reading, is not understanding the depth of the source material, not understanding the nuanced differences between naturalism and physicalism, not understanding the nuanced differences within dualism or within, like any sort of foundational epistemology. I think that a lot of it just comes down to we are not reading, and so we need to encourage everyone else on the app to read. If that makes sense.
Yeah, I guess I could if I have to, but I mean, I definitely think that like, I might be missing background, but I'm not like, I don't think it's going to be confusing when I do read it, right? Like, because there's just things that are real distinctions and not real distinctions, and I'm sure in the literature it'll all be real distinctions, right? But on TikTok, people make unreal distinctions and then use that in their argumentation.
Yes, I agree. Which I think that if we started, at least for me, I just want to have a better understanding of what terms to use, right? Because I've stopped calling myself like a physicalist or a materialist, right? Because I just don't want to confuse people with those terms, and I think that they're very easy to conflate.
Shit.
Yeah,
Okay,
like I
so
guess
going
by
back to
magic or
Level
supernatural,
Okay.
people just mean like our reality has something that is more powerful than it, right? Like some other realm or entities that can, from our perspective, appear magical and do stuff outside of our laws of nature that we're bound to. So they think there'd be another reality. But my whole point is that that reality, if it exists, has to behave by its own rules too. And that would just mean that we're like a nested natural world within another natural world that we call magical just because of our limitations. It's not like a distinction of the kind that people think, like some difference in ontology. It's more like we're the same ontology nested within the real ontology, which is the spirit realm from our perspective.
I don't see what you like. You're saying like a Russian nesting doll. You're saying that the physical would exist.
Well,
but
that's
only-
only to avoid the weirdness of having two completely unrelated realms that just happen to interact. Like, there's so many problems with different, like, dualist views because of that exact reason,
for
right?
sure.
But so I think what makes more sense is that if there's a realm that has power over our laws, so what we would call the nomological laws, then that actually just has to be more foundational, right? It has power over it because it isn't bound to it. It's more foundational in reality than us.
So
Just like what
you're saying
Christians would
that
say.
so you are going with more like an empiricist, like saying like, okay, the physical stuff exists.
Well, what does empiricist mean? Because if it's just like observable stuff exists.
Yes, observable stuff. That's the stuff that starts. That's first. That exists first.
I don't know how you can avoid that position. It's
I
not like
agree.
making some
I
kind of
agree
claim
in a lot of
about
ways.
metaphysics.
Sure, but people are going to say, and the rationalist is going to say, okay, well, you can only access the empirical through the phenomenological. You can
That's
only
the same thing, though.
Sure, I agree. Like, I'm going to hold to a very similar position as you. I'm saying this is what they're going to say.
That's fine. It's just not a real distinction. Those are the same thing.
I think that there's a very big difference between something being ontically
Then you mean
physical
something-
and ontically mental.
Yeah, then you just need to use different words for me to understand what you're talking about. Like when you say empirical, do you mean things that are not dependent on our mind?
Correct. Well, yes,
can get
correct.
some wins. I'm not going to be 1v3.
Then that's different. I thought you just meant that, like, because when I say empirical, I just mean your observations. You do have to verify if it's not just in your mind, but everything that you use to verify is also going to be through your mind. All of empirics is through your mind. So that, that's not a distinction. But there is a thing where we can verify things exist outside of your mind. Right. Those would be like third-party facts or whatever. Third-person facts, as Alex would call them.
Sure. And I probably am, I'm going to be honest, I don't think that I have a large enough grasp on this to be able to...
Never mind.
No, you explained it well. I just, now that I understand
I
what
just
you
don't,
mean,
I
agree
think
with
I need to, in order to be able to explain it even better, I need to research a little bit more and do more.
No, what you said was completely coherent. We access the empirical through the phenomenological. That's also unavoidable. Like, who says otherwise?
Yeah, I mean, well, lots of people say a lot of things on TikTok.
Oh God. Also, yeah, lots of people are not reading on TikTok. I have also noticed this.
I'm not saying you have to in order to engage with the topics. I'm saying that it's helped me recognize how little I knew. And how much I needed to actually go and read and and try to.
I'm not gonna lie, this conversation is interesting to me because I didn't know that machine knows like as much as he does. But brother, you got to read up on some epistemology, man.
No, machine is
Yeah.
like machine's better than me. Machine's smarter than me. I go to machine for
He's smarter than me too. I'm
questions.
already knowing, but I didn't like. Yeah, brother. In epistemology, like I've been reading up on epistemology a lot because that's the baseline of understanding any philosophy, really.
It's lit.
Hey, what do
Sure.
you think about phenomenal conservatism?
I hold to
I
it.
mean, it's fine. Unless you're going to be making absolute truth claims, and then I'm gonna have a problem with it.
Facts. That's based.
What are your thoughts on idealism? I'm a Hegelian.
Super based.
I'm sympathetic towards idealism.
Wait, so when you say you're a Hegelian idealist, does that mean that you believe in the source that Hegel does?
You said what?
The original source. Like Hegel holds to like this absolute spirit.
There's a little bit more to that, but it's he doesn't believe that there is pure mechanism or conceptless mechanism, according to which things don't have like an imminent concept. So he kind of like, because you guys were kind of talking about mechanism structure, he cancels that, but then he just rejects conceptless mechanism. So he's arguing more that
Who's talking? I'm so confused.
me,
M.
the M guy. Yeah.
Wait, where at?
But he says that I got like a little sticky note in my physical book, but he says that the nature or the specific essence, that which truly is permanent and substantial in the manifold and accidentality of appearance and fleeting externalization, is the concept of a thing. Because he was, which is super Aristotelian of him, the universal which is present in it. That's the remainder of the quote, but yeah. So I hold to his view of immanent concepts.
Already?
My bad, Aaron. I was listening to you. I wasn't trying to be rude. I'm trying to get this article from Machine.
No, you're good.
Oh, and also, like, I actually, said a prayer for Caleb, just even though I'm an atheist, right? Like, but do you think what would that be like? If God answers prayers, how would God hear a atheist prayer versus a believer's prayer, and by like the comparison? Like, how would they weigh out that single difference?
Motherfucker.
I'm pretty sure I'm the only
think,
Christian.
like, well, I kind of want to save that question for a different time. Are you a materialist?
Me? Like, what does that mean exactly? Just what, like things
We just had a conversation
are what
about
made of
this.
energy?
Well, like fundamentalists kind of hold that powers or dispositions
It's a
are
metaphysical
ultimately.
position.
You said what?
I said it's just a metaphysical position.
Yeah, it's a metaphysical position.
That doesn't clarify it. He was explaining. He was doing
Yeah,
fine.
ultimately that matters. What's fundamental.
Matter, like mass. That's just false, though, right?
For a materialist.
No, just in reality, it's false.
In reality, what is false? Materialism?
That mass is at all
By
fundamental.
matter, I don't just mean mass.
Okay, so what do you mean by
Can I kind of
matter?
clarify what the difference is between materialism and physicalism?
Sure.
So, materials are going to be like, it is a solid, like, matter. Material, matter, substance. Physicalism, that's going to include things kind of like energy, force, space, time, things like that. Does that make sense?
Yeah,
so
like,
one of
that's
them
what
is
we're
just a
saying
little
then.
bit more narrow, which is
Well,
materialism.
then we just have empirical verification that materialism is false then, by that definition. You'd have to deny the data.
Yeah, and then physicalism is going to be false because the universe isn't locally real.
Oh, well, that's only if you think that, like, time has to be fundamental for physicalism, right? It doesn't have
Do you
to
hold
be.
to
Does it?
the principle of principle of causal closure?
Within
Yes.
reality, I do.
Yeah,
Yeah.
within
But
reality.
we not be the observable universe might not be all of reality, right?
I have an argument against physicalism, but I was kind of curious on.
No, I don't like
Are you a
physicalism.
physicalist?
No.
Okay.
No, not at all. I think physicalism is self-defeating. Like I said, the
Wait,
universe isn't
what's
locally
the
real.
argument against physicalism? I want to hear.
The universe
I can
isn't
pull it
locally
up really
real.
quick.
Idealist.
Yeah,
universe.
can you elaborate? I think it might just be people having different definitions of physicalism again, right? That's always going to be the issue.
Can you give the argument against physicalism?
Yeah, I can. Let me pull it up really quick.
I got an argument as well.
The universe isn't locally real. It can either be local or real. We know that the universe is local because things like Bluetooth work. So
There
that
we
means
go.
it cannot
Got
be
it.
real.
I mean,
Well, does that mean that physicalism requires realism or whatever?
my argument is a little bit long, not gonna lie. So you would.
Just say it.
I mean, it's up to you if you want to sit through it.
Sure.
Yeah, I want to hear.
Oh well, it's up to the panel, obviously.
Yeah,
Oh,
that's
yeah.
up to you guys.
Alright, we're done.
It's 14 premises.
Oh, yeah, we don't care.
14.
Yeah, 14.
God damn.
Yeah.
Yeah, let's hear it.
So premise one, if the principle of causal closure of the physical is true, then tracing the causal ancestry or posteriority of any physical event will never take us outside the physical domain. P2, if tracing the causal ancestry of or posteriority.
Wait, I'm sorry. Can you repeat the first one? Like, it's not even. It's 14, but also each premise is going to be like complex. Like, say the first one. Sorry.
Yeah, you here I can read it again. It says if the principle of causal closure of the physical is true, you're familiar with the principle of causal closure, right?
So doesn't it just mean there's no causes from outside of reality or something?
Precisely, yeah. So whenever
But
you
doesn't
trace
that
the
question
causes
alone- isn't
or
that-
the effect.
Before we go further, just to, maybe wait. Does everyone care if I do this? Because there's going to be discussion points the whole time, or I can just shut up and just let them do the whole thing.
No, you're good. Whatever you want.
So, like, isn't this question just incoherent? Because if there's a cause from outside of reality, then that cause existed before it entered reality, right? Then that means that reality just doesn't include that reality just includes where that cause came from as well. It's not reality means everything that exists, not the observable universe.
It wasn't a question. It was conditional. The premise one states that if the principle of causal closure is true, then whenever you trace the causes or the effects of a physical event, then you'll never be like forced outside the physical domain. And that's just
right. You'll never be forced outside. But that wasn't what I was addressing before, but that's fine. That's agreeable.
So every physical event has a sufficient physical cause, and every physical effect is produced by a physical cause, and nothing non-physical ever needs to be invoked, right? That's what the principle of causal closure says.
Okay.
So premise one is just affirming that's the conditional. If the principle of causal closure of the physical is true, and tracing the causal ancestry or posteriority of any physical event would never take us outside the physical domain.
Never. I misheard you, bro. My bad. You're a little bit quiet. I heard a different word that changed the whole thing. Yeah, go on.
P2 is if tracing the causal ancestry or posteriority of any physical event never takes us outside the physical domain, then no causal chain involving a physical event can ever cross the boundary of the physical into the non-physical. And P3, it's just another conditional. It's if no causal chain involving a physical event ever crosses the boundary of the physical into non-physical, then if X is a physical event and Y is a cause or effect of X,
let me
then
lock
Y
in.
must be a physical event. And then P4 is just going to be an assumption for reductio that the principle of causal closure for the physical is true. And then from 1 and 4, mode respondents tracing the causal ancestry or posteriority of any physical event never takes us outside the physical domain. And then mode respondents from 2 and 5, no causal chain involving a physical event can ever cross the boundary of the physical into non-physical. And then mode respondents from 3 and 6, if X is a physical event and Y is a cause or effect of X, then Y is a physical event. And then the 8th premise is mental properties and states are not identical with physical properties and states. 9th premise is if mental properties and states are not identical with physical properties and states, then mental properties and states are non-physical. And then mode respondents from 8 and 9, mental properties and states are non-physical. And then from 11, if mental properties and states are non-physical and every cause or effect of physical event is physical, then mental properties and states are epiphenomenal with respect to the physical domain. And conjunction introduction from 7 and 10, mental properties and states are non-physical and every cause or effect of a physical event is physical. And then for modus ponens from 11 and 12, mental properties and states are epiphenomenal with respect to the physical domain. And then premise 14, mental properties and states are epiphenomenal with respect to the physical domain. And then 4 through 13, and then 14 reductio is the principle of causal closure of the physical is false.
Yeah, I think it's valid. It's funny, right? Because I didn't listen as well at the last bit. Did everybody else follow really well? Everybody good on it?
Absolutely not, but I completely spaced out and decided to scroll on a different app.
I mean, it was really clearly valid, the whole beginning part. So it was just the end. I didn't follow well enough to see if it was definitely valid, but I agree. It's just obviously the main premise that this hinges on is that mental properties are not actually identical to physical. Like that might be an epistemic limit that we will discover, I suppose. But that's the main thing. That's just the whole question, right? Like that's why people have different metaphysical positions, is because of that question.
My second, so
Did I
that's
miss it?
conclusion.
Go ahead.
Well, so what I did for my argument, I made that conclusion 1. So that's conclusion 1, and that addresses just physicalism. Now it continues, and it gets into the identity theory, because I know there's identity theory too. So P15 is if non-identity with physical properties does not by itself entail non-physicality unless physicality is defined in identity theoretic terms, then any rejection of the entailment requires the specification of an alternative criterion of physicality that possesses independent explanatory power. And then
oh man, why interrupt though? You got to listen carefully. Go ahead.
And then P16 is that non-reductive physicalism rejects this claim that non-identity with physical properties entails non-physicality. And P17 is that if non-reductive physicalism rejects the claim that non-identity with physical properties entails non-physicality, non-reductive physicalism requires the specification of an alternative criterion of physicality that possesses independent explanatory power. And then modus ponens from 16 and 17. Non-reductive physicalism requires the specification of an alternative criterion of physicality that possesses independent explanatory power. And then 19, if an alternative criterion of physicality possesses an independent explanatory power, then it must explain either the causal efficacy or explanatory relevance of mental properties within a causally closed physical domain. And then P20, no alternative criterion of physicality offered by non-reductive physicalism explains the causal efficacy or explanatory relevance of any mental properties within a causally closed physical domain. And then P21, if a theory requires the specification of an alternative criterion of physicality with independent explanatory power and no alternative criterion it offers explains the causal efficacy or explanatory relevance of mental properties within a causally closed physical domain, then the theory lacks explanatory adequacy.
Hell yeah.
Huh?
I know, Flexy's clutching.
Well, like, so can you give a causal explanation of why the mental stuff causes stuff or whatever? Like, can you do that in your worldview?
Well, for me, I'm going to be, like I said, I'm Hegelian. So I'm sympathetic of dualism. At least dualism the way that J.P. Moreland explains it.
Don't break those.
But that's just equivalent to what I would be doing. Like, I'm asking for the symmetry breaker would be that you actually have an account for that causal relationship. Like, I might not be able to say physically why the appearance of red causes you to have a feeling yet, right? But can you? Showing that it's just superior to
that would just be a
right
tu
now?
quo quo.
When you get to tu quo quo, wasn't that last bit of your argument basically that I need to provide an account for the causal relationship?
That would be simply equivocating the satisfaction of this, like a model being satisfiable with my commitment.
Sorry. I need to clarify because I'm talking about a reductive physicalist view, which I hold to, where I'm not assuming, right, that the mental properties are different than physical properties, that they do hold identity with physical properties. So if I have that position, I'm looking for more reasons within your argument to doubt physicalism.
Yeah, but I mean, do you reject the premise? That's the biggest thing.
Yeah, I reject the premise about mental properties being different than physical properties. Well, I'm paraphrasing, but some
Well,
collection of your
the
arguments
premise
said
Oh my
that.
was
god.
it was a conditional. So the conditional was if a
Coco, you
theory.
sold me.
Well,
Right, but
My
I'm
bad.
saying
it was
My
a
bad.
if a theory
That was crazy.
requires. It was the conditional was if a theory requires specification of alternative criterion of physicality with independent explanatory power, no alternative criterion that offers explains the causal efficacy or explanatory relevance of mental properties within a causally closed physical domain,
I'm
then the
getting off.
theory lacks explanatory adequacy. Right.
well, I still maybe that's just the part I don't get. Like, why do I like? I'm confused on the different positions of physicalism, right? Like, which one are you addressing there within the
Well, right
argument?
here, my argument attacks both this like physicalism in a broad sense and non-reductive physicalism. So my premise is saying that essentially, if a theory wants to preserve causal closure while also denying that mental properties are identical with physical properties, then you need to give a new criterion of physicality or some
Right, but
count
isn't
of
that what
what
I've just
counts as
pointed out
physical.
from the? I just pointed out that from the beginning, and you just said it. Like, if they want to deny that they're identical, mental and physical, but I don't deny that, right? So, is this an argument only for people who deny that?
No. This is an argument for reductive or non-reductive physicalists as well.
I'm talking about from a reductive physicalist perspective. Is it still an argument?
Yeah, the first argument attacks reductive physicalism.
But that hinges on the idea that mental properties they don't hold identity with physical properties, and I would reject that. It's obviously, right?
No, I'm saying my first argument attacks reductive physicalism, and then the second,
Yeah, and I'm
non-reductive.
talking about the first argument. What was the key? What was the major premise? Wasn't it that mental properties are not physical?
Well, the first, hold on, let me pull it up. Well, the first says that mental causes are physical causes because they are identical, right? So that was kind of the first one, and then it gets into like the point of the first one was that epiphenomenalism is unavoidable, and the fallback is usually some identity theory or something of this sort.
Interesting. Mental states are caused by physical processes, but they do not cause anything themselves. So the direction of causation is one way. I'm just reading on epiphenomenalism. Like, are they saying that the mental states are just like an incidental result of just physical stuff doing things?
Exactly.
Oh, I wouldn't hold to that either, though.
But then, well, that's the point, is that causal closure plus non-identity entails epiphenomenalism.
Why?
And epiphenomenalism contradicts the datum that mental states are causally efficacious.
Well,
right?
I think this is the issue. Like, why is that the case? Like, why can't it just be the case that your experience of something is a physical process, like a physical thing happening?
No, that's the point of the reductio. I allow that. And given that it is the case, epiphenomenalism is what's entailed when there's non-identity.
What do you mean by non-identity?
Yeah, non-identity with physical properties and mental.
But it's not, though. Like, isn't that not entailed? Like, I would just say
It
that
is,
they
because
are
causal
causal
closure
because
plus non-identity entails epiphenomenalism, right? And then the other portion of my argument just shows that non-reductive physicalism tries to keep causal closure but rejects identity, right? And so you can't give me like a criterion of physicality that has like some independent explanatory power, explains how mental properties are causally efficacious in a closed physical domain, right?
all right, but that's neither can you, right? But the point
But
is that
that's what I mean. It's like even if I can't, that's where the two co-crate comes in. Because if
but
I
again,
can't,
you had to pin down a very specific version of physicalism to make that an unavoidable. It's not unavoidable currently for me because I reject so many of these premises you're using.
which one?
Like the non-identity with physical properties for mind is the one I keep bringing up, and then you just keep addressing other things, and then you bring the argument up, and then that premise comes up, and I go, yeah, that one.
So you don't believe? Yeah, but that's the point. So the non-identity with physical properties premise?
No, that they they are physical properties. I think the mental experiential things are also just different physical properties than the ones that a rock has. They're just still
Yeah, that's
physical
what
properties.
exactly what I said. I know there's non-identity.
That's not non-identity. What does that mean? I thought what you meant by non-identity is that they're not physical properties. Like maybe just clarify on
You
that
believe
point.
that mental properties are physical properties, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's type identity theory, right? Like for example, if we have pain, right, then that's just going to be like your fibers firing, right? And that's the example that
Well, it's not just that though. Like that's not what I mean. I think the
no,
problem is that
I know that's like very like watered down, but you get what the point, right? Like belief would just be some neural configuration, pain, things like that. That's just
but
like
it's what the neural
fibers.
configuration's doing, right? It's kind of like how like every physical object is also doing a bunch of invisible things that are just in the math of the object. Like a computer does a bunch of invisible stuff to produce the effects that it does. It's
Right.
not actually even literally in the transistors. It's in the process of the transistors. So there's a lot of things like that. I would say that's still physical, but it is distinct from what the brain's doing. The brain's doing a thing, producing something in like, conceptual space, as I would call it. But I think that's the issue, right? Is people say that's some ontologically different thing. I would say, no, it's not. And then if it's not, like, I don't know what the issue is.
Yeah, so but that's the point. That's the kind of the whole point of my argument. And I think rejecting non-identity doesn't defeat my argument. Actually, it's confirming my argument. That's the whole point. Is that causal closure plus non-identity entails epiphenomenalism, which is a contradiction. So
Well, I don't
therefore,
understand
causal
that bit
closure
yet.
plus non-identity is impossible. Right.
Well, yeah, I think we're almost there. Sorry it took so long. But the epiphenomenalism point, why is that entailed by the fact that mental states are just reducible to physical stuff? Like, once I get that, I think I'll get your argument.
Yeah, so the reason why we get to epiphenomenalism is because, again, epiphenomenalism is what follows from closure and non-identity. Because if we start from like causal closure, and I'm just coming straight from just the reference. Here, let me pull up this book. The reference here, so you know where I'm coming from, is the Blackwell Companion. The way I constructed this argument after reading from the Blackwell Companion from Jonathan Lewis, Angus Minuke, and J.P. Moreland on substance dualism. Right. Now, we start from the principle of causal closure, that every physical event has a sufficient physical cause, which means that the physical domain is causally self-contained. Nothing non-physical can enter the causal ancestry of a physical event. Now, if we add non-identity, right, meaning that mental properties are not going to be identical with physical properties, right? So that you hold to that, correct?
No, I reject that. That's been the whole point the whole time.
So you
This is
do
very
believe in
confused.
identity.
Yeah, they're just physical stuff. Like, it's like you're saying, if the physicalist rejects physicalism, then physicalism is false. Like, that's what this sounds like at this point.
So you
Let
you
me
believe they
jump
are
in.
identical?
Machine Elf is giving the correct response. I'm reading, kind of previewing a new book by Rasmussen and I'm a theist, on consciousness, where he's going through physicalism, and Machine Elf is giving the exact, right response to your argument, which is they don't accept that mental
Identity
states are
theory.
totally different.
Yeah.
Yeah,
So
well, identity, he's going to say that it's just some sort of physical thing, whether it emerges or whatever, and it's not a separate mental state. It's not separate, not a separate thing, and therefore your argument fails. The next chapter, he's going to come back and sort of have issues with that. And I haven't read the next one yet.
yeah.
But
So
I think Machine Elf's giving the right response.
yeah. No.
I'd love to read
Hold on.
this,
One second.
maybe.
One second.
What are you guys referencing?
Oh, so I was referencing there's a Blackwell companion to substance dualism, but my point is, so you reject the non-identity premise, right? Because I thought you were saying you do accept non-identity.
No, I was saying it from the very beginning. Like, I really do think I was correctly saying that I reject that from the beginning.
Okay, so if you reject non-identity, then you're walking into the identity theory horn, the
Oh,
trilemma
cool, it's
in
a
my
horn.
argument.
All right. Man, this is tough. Go ahead.
Yeah, so now you're walking into the identity theory horn of the trilemma that I give in my argument. And then obviously once you do that, epiphenomenalism only kind of goes away because now you're collapsing mental into the physical.
And what's the issue? Like, I feel like this is super fun for me. I'm sorry you have to keep explaining
It is.
stuff.
It is
It's a
fun.
big
It is
argument.
fun. So closure no longer threatens mental causation, right? So once you're the thing is that you have type identity theory, right? And well, you have identity theory, then you have like type identity theory. But essentially, you're saying mental properties are physical properties. So that's what you're saying. That's what I mean by type identity theory, or
Okay.
So either way, the mental is nothing over and above the physical.
Uh-huh.
Right. So now the mental is inside the physical domain by definition.
Uh-huh.
Which means that there is no principle of causal closure.
Why?
Because the principle of causal closure says that there is no mixture of physical and mental.
Well, again, because they're denying that it's mental. Like, what are you doing? Like, what kind of fallacy is this? Where you're like,
it's
just
not
refusing.
A fallacy.
Well, the whole point is that I'm rejecting the thing that you're using in your argument again. You're saying that now there's a mixture of mental, physical. I reject the mental stuff exists. You can't mix it in.
This is the conundrum, right? Because epiphenomenalism, I'm not saying you're falling into epiphenomenalism. Epiphenomenalism, it comes from when you try to keep principle of causal closure and non-identity. But if you reject non-identity, then you're obviously going to avoid epiphenomenalism, but the cost is now mental properties are identical with physical
What mental properties? I've already denied that they're a real distinction. We're talking physical properties that we call mental properties because they have to do with minds, but they're physical properties. So we're saying there's physical properties within the physical properties. Causal closure is fine.
He's right. He's not saying mental states don't exist, which is epiphenomenalism.
I'm not saying I'm not saying
they're
mental
physical.
states don't exist.
He's just saying there are mental states that are physical, so it's not an issue.
Right. So exactly, that's the point. So epiphenomenalism, that because non-identity makes kind of the threat of epiphenomenalism. Obviously, you're going to reject non-identity. That's not something you're going to want to accept, right? So you're going to want to reject that, and you are going to accept some identity theory. But now the issue is that you have non-reductive physicalism, which is the other.
I love non-reductive physicalism. What's the problem?
I gave the.
Oh, sorry, not non-reductive. I meant reductive. I just misspoke. My bad. I love reductive physicalism. Stick with that.
You said what?
I didn't even understand how you're getting there, bro. Like,
you should hear it. I think it's a cool argument, to be honest. Is this your argument, or are you just like inspired into your formulation?
My argument. This is my. Hold on one second. My food is here. I'll be right back.
But I like it. I'm learning.
Are you able to like summarize it for me or anything?
Well, it's basically a trilemma, and it's trying to like delineate between the different kinds of physicalism and show that there's a problem with all of them. So we're running each horn. So one would be like if you are a non-reductive physicalist, then that is affirming that the mental things are different. They're different. You have to show how they're not somehow ontologically different than the physical stuff you're talking about. Otherwise, you are breaking the principle of causal closure that you're entailed to by being a physicalist.
Not necessarily. That's not quite right. So if you're a non-reductive physicalist, many times this will be cashed out as either property or predicate dualism. And the problem with non-reductive physicalism is that it's going to face all the same critiques as a dualism, because there is a difference in, at bare minimum, the properties, right? And so if physical causal closure is true, then there's no room for mental properties to be affecting physical properties, because every physical effect has a sufficient prior physical cause.
Right, that's why he says you're committed to epiphenomenalism in that, like if you're a non-reductive,
Exactly. Yeah, which is like, comes with problems by, okay, so I understand that horn. What are the other, like, horns?
Well, I don't remember the last one, because we jumped to that one shortly, and now we're on the second one. But, like, if anybody's been following, like, Truth understands a bit, too. Like, do you remember or can summarize the third horn?
He's brought up the identity issues where mental states are not identical to the physical states.
Right.
But I thought your answer, which is that the mental states exist. So it's not, you're not denying they exist. They have a physical component or a physical origin. They're not separate like a dualist. So you're avoiding that. I think he was trying to
No, that
say
doesn't avoid
you're.
it.
I mean, so
Sorry, go ahead.
I really thought
Go
if
ahead.
they're physical, I think you don't have an issue.
Well, here's the thing with identity, right? So that's probably the second horn. And M, if you're back, interrupt me, whatever. But
Yeah.
this is the way I would like hypothesize you're going about your second horn. Is that if you're not taking a non-reductive position, then you are taking a reductive position, and this is the same thing as saying, these
Exactly.
are what the
Yep.
identity theories are. And the
Yes.
problem with that is, if what we're calling mental states are identical to physical states, all I have to do is apply conceivability arguments or a Leibniz's law critique, right? So if A is identical to B, then every property of A must be identical to every property of B. And obviously, on its face, that fails, right? That identity test fails. So, but you can go ahead, and I'm curious to hear what the other horn is.
That is exactly what my trilemma was. So my first reductio shows that closure plus non-identity entails epiphenomenalism. Epiphenomenalism is contradictory, and therefore call to closure plus non-identity is impossible, right? Meaning that there's not a model that can satisfy it. Now, physicalists need to choose to reject closure, reject non-identity, or accept epiphenomenalism. Option 3 is obviously impossible. Option 1 means that we're no longer talking about physicalism, right? Because you can't have physicalism without the principle of causal closure. And the only one is some identity theory, right? So that's the issue. Now, identity theory avoids epiphenomenalism, but it collapses the mental into the physical, right?
Mm-hmm.
So
Well, now when Alex explained that, I get it now. Like, I do want to say, I actually like this a lot. I feel like it will make physicalists contend with the idea that it's not just one single monolith position. There's questions that need to be answered, and it's going to change the way they view it when they try to answer these questions.
There are minds laying in the field of any physicalist position you want to ascribe to. It's funny because I'm going to follow you right now, but so Alex O'Connor dropped a video recently. Where he's like, there's this like triangle in my mind, but nobody can find the triangle in my mind. And this is a critique I bring up a lot. And people are like, oh, this is a naive critique. Like, Alex O'Connor doesn't understand like representationalism and blah, blah, blah. But no, the critique forces the trilemma. And I've been talking about this, but I haven't like written it down or anything. So it's kind of funny that you're talking about like this three-pronged horn as well. Very interesting.
Yeah.
But mental states causation has long been a problem. That in Qualia and Jagwan Kim in his book, Physicalism or Something Near Enough, covers that. And then the argument you had about identity, Rasmussen puts out there. And, so this has long been a problem. It's not just because of this. It's good that he's put this down, but it's, he's creating the horns, but that's always been an issue.
That's true. That is true.
Yeah, dualism has its own interaction issue, right? So, where are we?
Yeah, are you a dualist, Em? What?
Yes. I'm a dualist.
Oh, I see. Okay.
I'm
inquiring. You could probably convince Missy, by the way, to be a dualist. I feel like you could. Like, you seem like you're really convincing.
You have your own causal exclusion problem. Dr. Truth, I almost called him Dr. Phil. Just talked about Jaquan Kim, or however you say his name.
Yeah.
He brought up the causal exclusion problem for dualists. So how do you respond to that?
I'm considering idealism. I've read Hegel. Yeah, I've read Hegel, and Hegel's kind of convinced me of idealism. But
you're considering idealism? No.
Yeah.
That's a leap.
I think all of you should just convert. Truthfully, idealism is based.
I would rather claim to be a Christian. No, I'm kidding.
That's wild. Why would you say that?
No, I'm kidding. Well, I mean, like, idealism has weird presuppositions. Well, like...
Oh, what? Like what?
Like what?
I mean, you believe that everything that exists is the result of a mind. Like, it doesn't exist physically.
The funny thing is, the reason we all ask that is because...
No, it's not a presup.
Yeah, if you've read Hegel, that's the very thing he's trying not to do is presuppose.
Yeah, it's not a precept.
Wait, so you can like justify the
We
mind?
start with phenomenal. Do what?
Wait, you can like justify the mind?
Well,
yeah, I mean,
here's the thing.
you know, there's. You go ahead, Em.
Oh no. What I was gonna say is that there's have you read like Kant's like Critique of Pure Reason before?
I've heard of it, but no, I need to read it.
So Kant, at the end of the transcendental aesthetic portion in his Critique of Pure Reason, he says that intellectual intuition will be able to give us the existence of the object of intuition, that that would bring an actual object before the mind just by conceiving of the thing. Now, Thomists have Thomists, for example, they would say, well, we don't just have representationalism, we have phantasm, we have the formal object, we abstract from our senses, and then the whole possible intellect thing, all of that good stuff. A little bit similar with Kant, a little bit. It's not the same, but it's a little bit similar. So he also says that so far as we can have insight, the only being whom an object would actually be given merely by being thought would be God. And so intellectual intuition would only pertain to original being. Human being is not self-sufficient, even insofar as their their intuition. Therefore, intuition is impossible. That actually,
people don't read Hegel, bro.
yeah, that
like I would just say it a lot simpler. I mean, you didn't say anything wrong, right? But like, Coco asked, like, oh, you can justify the mind. Like all what you're saying is very elegant and all that, but it's hard to digest. You know what I mean?
It is hard to.
By the way, I'm looking up. I've done this before too. I'm looking up Kant's Critique of Pure Reason, especially the antinomies, and some of these antinomies like are not actually like real things. Like when he says we can't prove or disprove that we have metaphysical free will. Well, I would just say that that's not true, right? We definitely can disprove metaphysical free will.
Well,
so like maybe not. Maybe we just didn't
Coco's
know enough,
question?
right? Like it was a while ago.
Can I go back to Coco's question before we get
Oh,
to
I'm
free
sorry.
will?
I was
okay?
detracting. My bad.
You're good.
No. You're fine. I just wanted to address it because I think there is a rather simple answer, which is that first, like the first thing you need to acknowledge is that consciousness is real. It absolutely exists.
I exist.
And the second thing you need to, I mean, you don't need to acknowledge this, but this is like what the idealist acknowledges. It's real. It's absolutely real. It definitely exists. It's also not explicable in material terms or physical terms. Not reducible to, not deducible from the physical or the material. Now, this entails, right, that it's fundamental. That's what it means when something is fundamental. It means that you cannot break it into smaller pieces. It is absolutely simple. So this gets you to the notion that consciousness is fundamental in some way, and then there's a number of different ways to talk about that. You could go dualism, you could go idealism, you could go panpsychism, and then from there I think it's just an abductive case that idealism is most likely correct.
And then whenever you say idealism, are you talking about like a metaphysical mind or?
Yeah, I mean, but we use the word
mental,
mind, like,
yeah.
so it's mental, yeah, but I wouldn't say that it's, like for me, I'm an atheistic idealist. So it's not like volitional, right? It's not an ego, it's not a person. It's a universal field of non-dual subjectivity. I don't know if any of that makes sense to you or not.
You mentioned panpsychism. Do you lean towards panpsychism at all as well, or no?
Yeah, so what I hold to is like what would be considered a form of panpsychism, cosmopsychism.
Yeah, like the guy from Duke. His name escapes me. More Cosmo from the top down.
Yeah, from the top down. Yeah, that's right. I don't know.
Because there is a recombination, unification problem of all these little bits of consciousness and all these electrons, quarks, this coming together to your unified consciousness in your brain is the problem.
Right, that would be from the bottom up. Right. Yeah, Anyway, I didn't mean to hijack the conversation. I was just trying to respond to Coco there.
Oh no, you're
So-
totally
no, you're
good.
good.
No, you're totally good.
You're good. But to answer your question, what constitutes idealism? I can quote Hegel in the Scientific Logic, and he says that the proposition that the finite is ideal, that is what constitutes idealism. Where the idealism of philosophy consists in nothing else than the fact that the finite is not to be recognized as something true, and every philosophy is essentially an idealism, or at least has idealism for its principle, and the question then is only how far this principle is actually carried out. That's what he says in the Science of the Logic.
Oh, yeah, I probably need to look into all that. Yeah, I could explore idealism more and read the literature surrounding it.
The whole what I champion is the fact that there are no presuppositions. That idealism, objective, analytic idealism, atheistic idealism, is like the only view that has no presup. Even physicalism, materialism has a presupposition.
Can I ask about that, Alex? Because isn't the presup is the premise that it's not reducible, the mental is not reducible to the physical?
No. I think that we can demonstrate that.
Oh, well then I'd love to hear about that.
Yeah, I mean, you're familiar with the knowledge argument, right?
I don't remember it. Maybe I saw it, but I didn't understand it.
I mean, I guess there's no point in going through Mary's room. It's as simple as this. A full objective description does not entail subjective character. So you can put a whole mountain of third-person objective facts in a pile, and they're never going to become first-person subjective facts.
Well, how do we know that? Because that's kind of the key issue. I would say that there is possible to do that in principle. We just don't have the means right now.
So if you admit that first-person subjective facts are actually a thing, then you're just invoking strong emergence when you say that that is possible.
No, I'm not. Like, why? Like, it could be that first-person stuff is actually explainable by the third-person stuff doing things. That's what I'm saying. It's possible.
Yeah, well, it's a category leap that's not allowed by logic.
What category leap?
Sure, anything is possible, right? Yeah, let's say I'm trying to construct a deductive argument, okay? And let's say in my premise, I have premise 1, some third-person fact. Premise 2, some third-person fact. And then in my conclusion, I introduce a first-person fact. This would be an invalid argument.
Why?
It's not allowed because it's a different category.
Well, no, like different categories can emerge from different. The whole point of weak emergence in general is this is a new category, but it's explained by the other categories and their processes.
No. That's not what weak emergence is.
Then what do you mean by category?
So in this case, category just means first person, third person, private, public.
I know, but I need to know why that's a type of category distinction that matters.
Well, can you name something else that is private, essentially private?
Something else? What do you mean? Like it can be unique, right? Like wetness or electricity can be unique, and it doesn't mean that it I don't know. I'm not sure what you're trying to say. Yes, the only things that are first person are things that are first person. Yes.
Yeah, I'm saying there's nothing else besides minds that are essentially private.
Because that's just what we're defining. That's what we're pointing at. We're saying, look, first-person things, which is what minds are. The only things that are those are minds. Oh, right. Well, yeah, that's true of anything, any property.
Well, that's exactly why I said that. Why I kind of gave that quote when I was talking about Hegel's, what Hegel says in his Science of the Logic, that every philosophy is essentially an idealism, because that's exactly what Kant says. Like, that is Berkeley and Kant's subjective idealism, where empirical objects, at least as we experience them, they're just going to be merely for the minds that know these objects, right? Is that what you're saying?
Who? Me?
Yeah.
I don't think so.
Do you believe that material objects we see are empirically real?
Yeah, they're real. They just don't have certain properties because some of them are produced by our brain. But those properties are real too. They're just It goes physical stuff
So-
into our brain, and then the brain produces the experience, which is a designed experience to help us navigate the world that we're taking
No,
information
I'm
from.
saying when I say empirically real, I mean, do those empirical objects as we know them, do they exist outside of human experience?
They do. They just don't have all the properties that we observe. That's what I was clarifying.
You're
Some
not
of the
empiricist
properties
then.
of the apple are from our mind. They're not in the apple, like on its own.
Oh, then yeah, you're not an
all of the
empiricist then.
properties of the apple.
No, I wouldn't say all of them. I
let me-
think some of them, like its mass, is outside of
I
our
know.
mind. Yeah.
So you don't.
Well, let me ask
so
you
you're
this.
not like a pure. That's not like pure mechanism. That's like you do hold to like some imminent concept. Then. Excuse me.
Yeah, I do. I do think there's some things in your experience that are not directly caused by the physical stuff that we would call physical stuff. But I still think the mental is physical stuff. But we need to make the distinction, right? If I was a physicalist, I would still say there's mental stuff, which is physical stuff that is mind stuff.
I think you're like on the edge. You're so close to like dualism, but
Everyone says that about everything, man. Every person I talk to says you're so close to my position. So I can't be close to anyone's position.
I do that too.
Machine.
It's actually probably a problem.
Machino.
Before we get too far, oh sorry. I mean, look, I wanted to go back to emergence if we could, because we never really like sussed that out. So
are all you guys atheists or?
Yeah, 1 second if you don't mind. I just want to like
Okay.
hash this out real quick, if that's okay.
Yeah.
So look, there's a fundamental difference between, say, the emergence of liquidity or wetness, and we probably need to define what we mean by wetness or liquidity, and what would be the case if it is true that consciousness emerges. And I think that we can suss out what I mean by a category difference if we look at wetness, but I need you to tell me what you think wetness means or liquidity means, Machino.
So interestingly, I don't actually understand the emergence of how substance forms in general, but it seems to basically just be that the interaction of the individual properties of every molecule creates the condition of viscosity, meaning that they have attraction to each other and other surfaces. And because of that, they have liquidity, right? Because they're able to move, but they have attraction to each other and surfaces.
Yeah, I mean, I'd say that's pretty much correct. But crucially, right, the property that we're calling liquidity, first of all, can be demystified if we unpack our mind, right, and what we're imparting on the world. So when we unpack sort of like our reification of this property and get that out the way and just subtract that from the equation, right, then all we have are the pieces that are involved, right? So we have the molecules, the atoms, the subatomic particles, and the microphysical laws, right? And it's quite easy. There's a couple things here. First of all, it's quite easy to see how one molecule is not what we call wet, but many are. And not only that, what we call wetness is third-person describable when you remove the mind from the picture. And also the microphysical parts are third-person describable. So we went to a quote-unquote higher-level property, but we did so while remaining in the same category, which is third-person objective description.
Yeah, I agree with all
Right.
this. It's just the intuitive gap, because it's hard for you to believe that it's possible. But I just think that one day
that's
we
not-
could discover
that's not
that.
the argument. That's
Okay,
not
go
the
ahead.
argument. I don't know why everybody characterizes it like that. We're specifically pointing out a category error.
But I'm denying the category error is necessarily the case. Like, it could just be the case that the brain neurons doing things fully can be described in a way that explains your thoughts.
So what you're saying is, just to like bring this down to earth, what you're saying is, look, it's okay for me to believe that if I hand you a circle and tell you to hand me back the same object, that it's possible you could hand me a triangle.
No, I'm saying that
That's what
it's
you're
just
saying
they're
right
no, I'm saying they're both circles. You're assuming that it's a triangle.
So prima facie, it's a triangle, right? The burden is not
To you, not to me.
on me to prove that it's a triangle.
No, like if either one of
You
us
admit
hold the
that
belief either
consciousness
way, it would be
exists.
unjustified. But like I'm saying, why should I adopt your belief, the prima facie seeming, right? Why is that justified?
Yeah, so it's how we define consciousness. It's defined as a first person phenomenon. The
Yeah.
privacy of consciousness demonstrates that it has a first person essence.
Oh, I see what you're. I think I get it. Like, it makes sense. Like, with the semantics, when you say like, oh, well, the whole point is that it's third person. So obviously, if it became first person, it would contradict the very thing we're defining. But the problem is that these definitions are just confusing. When really, when I mean physical, I just mean things exist in particular ways, and then we can describe them, right? Sometimes, like with water. And in one day we could describe how consciousness works as well, because it'll just be a collection of things that exist. And when we understand what they do together, we would understand how it produces consciousness. So like that's the view that I think is on the table. It's a live option.
If it's true that consciousness is essentially private, it would be a different kind of emergence than anything else we know about in the universe.
Like
This
only
would
in the
be
definitions. Only if you're thinking of those definitions as referring to some kind of real thing on their own. But like the real thing is just that there's things that exist in a particular way, and then we separate them into physical and mental. But if the mental are going to be reducible to just things that exist in a particular way, then they're also going to be physical because they're going to match. They're going to have identity with the way that we understand.
Well, that goes into my
You
argument.
didn't
though.
actually make.
Can
a
I
point there. Like,
ask a question?
I guess.
Go ahead, Alexander.
All right, thank you. So, so I just wanted to ask, like, what technology would we need to create a human being? Like, just generally, like, what would let's just say the five main pieces of technology that we would need to make a human being?
I really only need one, I guess, like my genitalia. I'm not sure what you mean.
No, not like that. Like, like we would need a lot of like knowledge in bio. What do you call it?
I only need one. This dick.
Like we'd need sophisticated computer. We need sophisticated computer programs. We need like extensive knowledge in biology. We'd need like sophisticated machinery, and we would need like like a lab and everything like to do it. So how if that's the case, if it's so hard like to create a human being, like we can't even do that now. Like we like humans, like we can't make a human from scratch. From no, we can make clones, like they're making clones, but
you're asking about making. Can I just ask? You're asking about
Yeah.
making a human from just elements, like from scratch.
Yes, from scratch. Yeah.
Right. So you don't care about like cloning or like gene editing or other ways that we make people, like reproduction. That doesn't matter.
No, like I said, like humans can make clones of other humans or animals, but we don't have the technology to create a human being from just the elements.
Okay. So what's your?
Yeah.
Oh, go ahead. I'm down with this. What's your point?
So what I'm saying is that how did humans evolve from nothing by itself without all that technology? Without all that
okay.
technology, yeah.
Right. Well, we don't understand exactly how it happened on Earth because it was a long time ago. The evidence is really difficult. We know a bunch of ways it could have happened. We're not really clear on which one is actually what happened. It's not clear, right? But just because we don't know doesn't mean that, something else is true. They would need a separate justification for the thing you're saying is true. So it would just be an open question. We don't know, right?
Yeah.
Oh, but I can answer as to why it seems logical that this could be the case. Like humans coming from matter. Like I could explain why it's not that weird.
I was going to ask you,
and I just wanted to put this out here just quickly. Like, yeah, so I used to be a Christian for most of my life, but I'm not a Christian anymore. And I've studied like Islam thoroughly and Buddhism and all that. But basically, I believe in some type of divine force that's interacting with our reality. like I don't know if it's one god or several gods or if God is a female or a male or both. I don't know. Like anyone that says they know, that they're only lying because no one knows.
Maybe God's a gerbil.
I thought I heard it that way too.
I would hate
Actually,
to think that
probably
a
God's a
gerbil is the
beetle. Like,
foundation of reality.
think about how many beetles there are compared to how many of any other type of animal, right? It's probably God's probably a beetle.
Yeah.
Look, since we're on the topic of life, just to throw in this last thing about consciousness, because I gotta go soon anyway.
Yeah.
What's interesting is it is conceivable to me that we do solve this problem of abiogenesis. But this is also a different problem. So frequently what's brought up in the consciousness conversation is like, yeah, it seems like mystical and mysterious and like a really hard problem right now, but that's what the Elan Vital, is that what they're called? The Elan, what did they call them? The people who thought that there was some vital essence that was needed for life, and that kind of question kind of dissolved over time. And now we haven't actually fully solved the problem yet, but it's conceivable that we would. Now, I would point out that the same thing I said about the emergence of liquidity or wetness of water can be said about sort of the emergence of life from non-living components. It's all third person describable. If we take the mind out of the picture, life is a process that can be described fully and completely from the third person if I'm doing an internal critique on physicalism. And so is chemistry.
Are you
right? And so, yeah.
Okay. I was gonna say that
Yes,
sounds
machine.
very much like an idealist.
Right.
Yeah, I'm an
And so all I'm
idealist.
saying
I'm
there
deeply
is that getting close to solving the problem of abiogenesis, and maybe even eventually like fully solving the problem of abiogenesis, is not an indication that consciousness is going to follow the same way. It's just not. It's a different category, different problem.
All right, thanks,
Machine, I
thanks,
have a question
Alex.
for you about physicalism.
Wait, what?
Thanks, Alex. Machine, you can have knowledge of your thoughts and feelings, but not really. You have knowledge of all the spatial relationships of in your brain, the neurons, the particles, right? You could know, but you are in touch with your feelings and your thoughts, right?
Oh, also,
you could,
really
you could
quick.
have these feelings and thoughts and not necessarily know all the spatial arrangement in your brain, right?
Yeah.
Also, really quick, I'm not sure what Not the Real Dwight is asking in the comments when he says what are the deets, but this would be a perfect opportunity to bring to your guys' attention that later today I'm going to be having an event. It's going to be one debate, and basically it's going to be Volsi versus this guy named Bundy Bay on America was never great. Wait, hold on. Oh god damn it. Like the image always gets like so big. But hold on, okay. Bear with me now. Bear with
That's a
me.
novel topic. That sounds cool.
Yeah, it's basically gonna be a political topic. But yeah, Volsi and Bundy Bay are debating later today for Cocamania 8, addressing a history of hate. And yeah, it's going to be this debate that's happening later today. So if you're in here, please tap your screens, like the live, share the live. The debate's going to start at 6, but I'm going to be live playing Pokemon Black until then. But yeah, like I put out like several posts on this, and there's like 3 different designs I did for the promo. There's this one, there's this one, and then there's also this one. Which I think this one might be the best one. But yeah, just letting everybody know, tap your screen, share the live, and this will be happening at 6, starting at 6. Tune in if you're free. But yeah, continue, guys.
Absolutely.
So I
try to catch it.
If I can ask, so basically, I don't believe the beginning of our universe was a Big Bang. I believe it was either one white hole event or several, and so it like a white like what the white hole. It is a theory. I think it's since 2005, and it's supported by Einstein's general relativity. So, because I like the way I see it is our universe that we're living in now. It's like a balloon, and something inflated it. Whether it was the Big Bang or white holes that done it, I don't know. But and basically
Wait, before you continue, isn't the whole idea
okay.
that the Big Bang is just a thing that's true? But the point is that you think that what the Big Bang is a white hole, right?
Yeah, yeah, it could
Right.
be.
Because
Yeah,
you're not denying the cosmic microwave background or any of the reasons why we know the universe is expanding. You're just saying the expansion is a white hole. Like, I think that's fine. That's a good hypothesis. I think it's on the table.
yeah, yeah. And I just wanted to say, like, because you're atheist, you wouldn't. I don't think you would believe in miracles, but I just like. So basically, our physics that we currently are working with every day, we so when you go back far enough to the beginning of the universe, um, like because energy can't be created or destroyed. So either our universe has always existed, or it came from nothing, or maybe some other realm. But yeah, it's just like it's pretty much a miracle. Like I'll give you the definition of a miracle. So basically, a miracle is an extraordinary beneficial event that defies natural or scientific laws typically attributed to divine or supernatural intervention. So, um, so either it always existed, but that's a miracle as well. If it always existed, like
Well, I'm a little
it just
confused on that. Like, by your definition, it would have to defy the laws, but we're talking about things we don't know. So if we just discover that it was eternal, like, that wouldn't be a miracle. That would just be the way that it always was. We didn't know. Like, if we discovered it was eternal, and then we discovered later that that's contradicted by something else, then that would be a miracle, right? The new thing.
yeah, but also if it always existed, where did it come from? Like how
It
did how
doesn't
did
come
it
from
come?
anywhere. It would just be like the prime thing that reality is. It doesn't come from somewhere. It just always was that. Or, well, before time, that's just like what the universe is. Or outside of time. I don't know. Temporal language is inappropriate.
Yeah.
How do you feel about I like necessitarianism. I heard you say temporal language. It just made me think that.
Alexander or me?
You.
Yeah, I'm a necessitarian. Like, I think that there's actually a contradiction in there when it comes to things like not being caused or having an explanation. So that would just mean that everything has an explanation, which just means it's deterministic. Like, even if something random happens, there'll be an explanation why it's random, and there's nothing that can control it outside of that explanation. So I think at the very least, everything happens for a reason and is necessitated, or it has no reason and is therefore necessitated to be random. So that's a kind of necessitarianism.
I feel like I'm gonna meet you in a year, and you're gonna be a theist. I'm a
Everybody says that about everything, man.
I'm
going to be an idealist, a Buddhist, a theist, all of it.
I'm a Hegelian idealist, and I'm also necessitarian.
I do like in prospective philosophy on YouTube, and I think he's that. I think Hegelian, at least. I don't know about the other thing, idealism.
So the Big Bang is a they're saying it's pretty much a fact, but the universe always existed. It's just a theory.
Yeah, that's just we don't know that exactly. You're correct.
Yeah.
Yep. Like, we don't know what came before or what caused the Big Bang. We know what the inflation is about. Like, we don't know what caused the inflation, but we know that there was inflation.
Yeah. Yep. And there could be several. Like, there could be many universes as well. Like I think they call them membranes or something.
Well, those are two different things, but either one could be true. Yeah. As far as I know, right? I just rely on experts for these things because I don't know.
Yeah.
when you say universe, you're not talking about like possible worlds, right?
Talking about the actual
No,
world.
Okay.
no, like we're talking about the our whole universe.
Yeah, I think I like the word universe for our observable reality, and then the word reality for just whatever everything is, right? Like the multiverse.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think I talked to too much logicians that use universe in that sense. So,
Well, I mean, it makes sense linguistically because universe, like what uni means, it should just mean reality, like everything that exists. So I understand some people might try to use it that way because it does make sense. But most people just mean the observable universe.
They don't typically mean the non-physical possibility.
Well, people argue for the existence of God with the premise of the word universe meaning the physical, observable universe.
Well,
that
I
needs
would
a
say
cause, therefore God.
That's typically physical. I would say all of reality would include potentially God, but the universe is typically not considered something. You know
Exactly. Like those arguments aren't that would be ridiculous to say that reality was made by God because that's contradictory. I think people just mean our observable universe was made by God.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. So why do you necessitarianism? You described it as determinism, but it's a little bit more extreme than just basic determinism.
yeah, I would
Right,
agree.
because determinism could be true, but the initial conditions might not be necessary. But I think they are. I think it's determinism plus the necessary conditions.
How do you think you're, at least the feeling that you could do something different today than you did it, or prior to otherwise, or quantum mechanics down at the indeterminate causality level? How does that affect your view of it all?
Well, I'm glad that everything I do is for a reason, for one. But then if there are some things that don't happen for a reason, the only way that they can even logically happen is that a set of causes that definitely just deterministically behave a certain way entail a possibility space in another property, right? So it's really just determinism that entails an uncaused event, the collapse of the wave function or what have you. So not only is it largely irrelevant to our decision making, maybe, but if it was, it would just remove our agency. So I would hope that it's not, that we'll discover that quantum mechanical stuff stays there. It doesn't have to do with our decision making.
Well, it's at the most fundamental level of reality, isn't it?
I know, but once everything decoheres, as they call it in physics, it's just classical. So you don't have to worry about the randomness at that point.
I mean, it follows. It's certainly probabilistic, but it's not strictly. I mean, some people argue it's deterministic, but it seems to have an indeterminate quality.
Well, yeah, I don't think that necessitarianism needs causal determinism. And I don't know. I just
right, because I think you can have something necessarily be random, right? Wouldn't that still be kind of like
it doesn't presuppose the truth of determinism because it allows the consideration that some things happen determinately, right?
Indeterminately.
Indeterminately, exactly. So all a necessitarian would say is that, people that believe in contingency and things like that, is that what occurs indeterminately is such that it could have failed to have occurred, right? Like that is what we would project, right?
But I would say that it couldn't have, right? Like even though it's random, I think that it necessarily still happened that way.
Exactly.
Which is contradictory sounding. I know that it is.
I thought the traditional definition was it could not have been any different if it's truly necessary.
Yeah, I agree. Exactly. Like that's why there's a conflict with randomness. Like that's why there's an issue.
Well, M seemed to allow something different there.
No. What I was saying is that if you're a necessitarian, you don't need to accept the like, for example,
causal determinism.
Causal determinism or the principle of universal causation. That's another one. Things of that nature. We don't need to accept that. I don't need to accept the principle of universal causation.
Also, the always existing universe theory, it doesn't balance out because because we know for a fact that our universe has been inflating or expanding from a singularity all this time since the Big Bang or whatever it was. So that means it didn't always exist then. If it expanded from a
Well, can
singularity.
I bring something up about that, right? Because if
Yeah.
time had a beginning, but reality contains aspects that are not temporal, like that's where time emerges from those, then it could be said that time is a beginning, but the universe itself outside of time is eternal, right? It exists atemporally before time, quote unquote, because there's no such thing as time. So there's just a set of things that exist atemporally, and then also things that are temporal, and that has a beginning.
I'm gonna drop down, but you guys have a good one.
So yeah, I'm gonna head out pretty soon.
Yeah.
Bye. Actually, now that I'm thinking about it, I might actually like go to other lives or like grab something to eat and then like do the event later. But if anyone has anything else for me,
no, I'm good.
But
So, one last question for Machine. So, if we knew all your brain states perfectly, right, with some sort of instrument, we can know that, but we don't really know your first person consciousness and your thoughts and feelings and awareness, right?
Well,
Shouldn't we be able to know that if we really knew the physical and the mental states are part of the physical? Why wouldn't we know that? And also go the other way. That's what I was asking you earlier. You can have conscious feelings and so on and thoughts, but know nothing about the spatial arrangement in your brain. So there's a little bit of a knowledge gap there, right?
Well, I got you. The whole Mary's room thing, which is similar to this. The thing for me is that if it is the case that physical things are creating our conscious experience, it could be vastly complicated, right? It's essentially this billions of neuron system running in parallel, creating some program that is creating consciousness. Like that's going to be wildly complicated. So even if we do one day unpack this and understand how it works, the list of information required to hold in your mind at once to then experience read from a printout of someone else's experience, it's so kind of like unachievable for a biological brain that only computers will be able to actually do this. Like take a code of someone's experience and then experience the same thing. It's going to be beyond biology.
So you sort of acknowledge the gap. You're just thinking maybe we'll figure it out one day.
Yeah, the gap isn't because of an in-principle ontological distinction. It's because we have certain hardware that can only do certain things. And holding millions of lines of code that describe a brain state in your mind at once to be able to replicate the redness, only computers can do that. Like no biological brain can do that thing.
And why are you?
Sorry, I've got to go, guys. I have to go. My battery's running real low.
All right, take care.
I followed anyway. All right, see you.
Oh yeah, I followed you back. Thank you.
Thanks.
Yeah, go ahead, guys.
Pretty soon, Coco, you're going to be a theist that's an idealist or something too. You never know. You might be absorbing all this while you're playing video games and not know it.
Yes. I hope one day that I end up being the biggest content creator in regards to hosting debates and debating people on these controversial topics. And who knows, maybe in like 5 years I might be defending Christianity, or in 5 years I might be a fully proclaimed atheist. It could be either one. But I don't know. I hope my journey is like a Pokemon. Like, you know, when Ash started in season 1, he was like, I'm gonna catch all of them, and then like we finally get the season where he's like world champion.
Yeah. It's kind of, I don't know, like, if you're really committed, I think you could do it, but you have to, like, at some point, like, if you're an artist or whatever, and you have certain goals, don't you inevitably, to be effective, have to curtail some of your goals a bit in order to do what's going to be effective and popular?
Yeah. When it comes to TikTok, the content might, like, evolve into something that, like, caters to the audience, but hopefully it doesn't, like, entirely lose, like...
Yeah, you could put a limit on it.
Yeah. Entirely lose its original like idea.
Yeah, and that's the thing, right? It depends on your principles, but if your principles prevent you from being popular, you would just be sunk. But I don't think that's the case for you.
Yeah. As long as it's like, yeah, but essentially I'm trying to like legitimize debates on TikTok. So like, yeah, host like the formal debates, make them educational, but also like entertainment and like some jabs here and there aren't like too bad. But then yeah, we need to capture the audience's eyes.
I think because of the platform, like on the platform, I would think that would be novel, right? Like that kind of platform.
Yeah.
Or, well, sorry, like content on the platform.
Yeah. Yeah, I got some cool stuff coming up. I'm gonna make content about like logical fallacies, Bible contradictions. Yeah, I got like tons of stuff planned. But then like some days I'm lazy and I wake up and I'm like, I just want to watch YouTube today, and I gotta like edit.
I'm committed to like playing every Dragon Ball Z game and also rewatching the whole anime. I'm kind of just for fun on my spare time doing that now.
Yeah, they're really cool, right? I think for a while now, like the video games have been like free world, sort of, right? And you could like fly around and blitz people and go Super Saiyan and stuff. And it's like a 3D like fighting sort of game with like storyline attributed to it that follows the manga.
Yeah, my favorite's still Budokai, right? Like the original PlayStation like 1 and 2 Budokai games.
Yeah, I don't think there's a single bad Dragon Ball Z game. Deadass.
I haven't played one yet, but I bet there are. Like if I'm gonna try and play a bunch of them, because there's like 100 of them.
Yeah, and like new ones even came out pretty recently. Let's see.
Oh yeah, I'm looking forward to those.
Yeah, but no, they're pretty fire. Like I've seen them and like it's legitimate. Like you get to fight people like deadass.
The first Budokai was actually kind of interesting. It had some new mechanics. Like like I think it might have been one of the first games to kind of have a fighting game that included almost like a button. Like no, other games had button mashing, but they had some interesting application of it. It's pretty simple but unique.
Okay, yeah, the one on GameCube, right?
Yeah, it was on GameCube. Yeah.
Yeah. But no, yeah, no, that's really cool. I'm a fan of Dragon Ball Z. When I say it's like the best anime, well, like I need to like watch more anime and read more manga. But like, okay, my favorites would be some of like the popular names, right? Like Dragon Ball Z, I watched practically everything. Bleach, I read the manga. I read all of it. And then I think my favorite right now is One Piece. It has to be One Piece. Like me and Nils. Like,
I wasn't able to get into it. It's so long too. It's daunting.
Yeah, it's super long, and we're not sure when he's gonna become the Pirate King already and end this shit already.
This is wild that it's actually so long. People are like, "Well, like, is it time?
Is it gonna
Is it time to end it?" Most anime, if they're popular, they literally always end in disappointment, where people are like, "I wish it would go on."
Yeah, or like the artist dies before they can finish it, and then everyone's like, "Fuck."
Yeah. Like, oh well, Naruto's interesting. Naruto kind of just ended in a kind of mixed way. Like it wasn't like it was early or late.
Yeah. Actually, Naruto might be my favorite. Naruto might be competing with like with One Piece because there was that battle where like the enemies were coming back. And there was this one guy who literally blitzed everybody. He dropped a meteor on people, and then when they caught it, he dropped the second one on top of the meteor, but I'm blanking on his name. Let me find it.
Yeah, I know early Naruto better than late Shippuden, just because like I've only seen it once.
Madara. Yeah.
Oh, right, okay.
Madara has to be like the best ninja that's ever existed. Like he was, dude, the footwork and everything. Like when I was watching like the battle between like everyone was like working together to beat him and like a couple other villains that came back to life or were reanimated. And yeah, like he dropped a meteor, they like caught it with like sand and they were like, "Oh, phew, we're not going to die." And then like Madara's like, "Wait, what about the other one?" And they're like, "What the fuck?" And like a second one is just coming on top of it. I'm like, peak writing. This is the best thing I've ever seen. Like completely unexpected and just cynical. Absolutely cynical. Like, oh, he's so fire. And he has to be my favorite villain out of all fiction. Madara has to be like my favorite villain for sure.
The Naruto universe is ripe for creating like a massive like MMO type experience that's extremely good, like with really good combat mechanics. It could be done.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, Naruto's yeah. And I think like what's my favorite character from? I mean, I guess it would be Naruto. Yeah. But But no, yeah.
I mean, I like Itachi and Shikamaru.
Yeah, Itachi and yeah. And people always shitted on Sakura, but I like late in the lore, she gets like really good. Like you see her going hand to hand combat really fast with people and like
Yeah, she has a character arc.
yeah.
It's very feminist too. She goes from like the damsel to like the badass kind of thing, like leader type.
Yeah, actually like fucking people up and like does she have no jutsu? She just throws paper bombs. She like slaps like paper bombs on people.
I don't remember. Yeah, I mean, she does that in games for sure. I just don't remember the anime. It's got to be in the anime if it's in the games.
Yeah. But yeah, no, that's pretty cool.
Oh yeah, because she does things where she can focus her chakra in her hand to just like bare hand like paper bombs and stuff. Like she could just like rip it off and like chuck it. I don't know, like replace it. Like I think that's some kind of special thing she can do. Like just
yeah, she's not doing like Rasengans like Naruto and like Sasuke. But she's like slapping paper bombs and like she's doing a lot of knife stuff. Like she'll be like fighting somebody with like a ninja knife and then throw it, catch it with the other hand, and I'm like, whoa, she's got some different timing. But
her whole feature of like cool factor for her fighting in general is basically she's like a genius at chakra fine-tuned manipulation. So she could do a lot. Like that's always basically her trick. And, like even when she's using ninja tools, she's using them in a way where she's using really, really good chakra control. That's her whole deal.
Yeah.
Which is funny because it's part of her character arc when she learns to master her inner self and gains control of her emotions and like she figures out who she really is and stuff. It is actually a really cool story, character arc.
Yeah, and at first she's like not scared, but she's like, why can I not keep up with like Naruto and Sasuke? But then yeah, eventually she figures it out.
I love this idea that the anime is really good at, which is highlighting that something that you view as a character flaw that keeps you behind in the beginning. Yeah. You can like, once you figure out what's going on there, it can be leveraged into actually, oh, it was your greatest strength all along. Like you just had to discover how to apply yourself, like, and how to use it.
Yeah. And like Naruto is like the only reason he's so strong is because he literally has like an incredibly dangerous animal inside of him that everyone was like, fuck it, we're gonna seal it in a child, basically.
Yeah, and he's the classic shonen archetype protagonist because he essentially masters the Jinchuriki thing so well because he's like this pure of heart, just I always try my best even though I suck kind of person that wins over the demon fox, right? Like he befriends it.
Yeah.
It's cool. Like it becomes the superpower in the end.
Oh, and like a really cool thing of his is like he takes like a basic skill and he just like spam abuses it. So like Shadow Clone Jutsu, like in like the fights in the end, like he ends up just multiplying himself and then like, you know, he has like his clones like help him with like the Rasengan and some of his clones fight other people and he has like so much chakra he can do all of that and everyone's like, what the fuck, how is he doing all of this shit? This is fucking crazy.
I think he's neurodivergent. He's maybe at least ADHD or on the spectrum because like he can't seem to like get things that other people get, but then he'll get one thing and just master it more than anyone in history, like the Shadow Clone Jutsu.
Yeah.
It's like, oh wow, okay. Or like the what's the thing that he does that he learns from Pervy Sage, the ball in his hand. I forget what it's called.
I thought you were talking about like when he turns into a woman and there's like clouds like covering.
No, but yes, that too, the transformation jutsu. It took him forever but that was interesting because it just took him a long time to get it. But it's like once he gets something, he like masters it completely. Like he blows it out of the water. It just takes him a long time to get it.
Yeah.
That's kind of the way he does it. Yeah.
Yeah, but actually from the jump, I was like, yeah, this dude is like ADHD or like he's like really extroverted. And like, yeah, I knew he was like divergent somehow.
He's not neurotypical, I don't think.
Yeah, and then Sasuke might be depressed or like
maybe.
Yeah,
he's definitely traumatized. Right? He's 100% got PTSD.
Yeah,
and that'll make you depressed.
Yeah, no, for sure. But no, that's pretty cool. But
all right, well, see you later.
Yeah, I'll see you guys around. With that, I'm gonna take a break. Yeah, Graham, yeah, you doing okay, Graham? Oh wait, Power Rangers was.
Sorry.
Oh no, you're good. Power Rangers was really cool, and Sailor Moon. I have to look into Sailor Moon. I never got into it.
Yeah, no, like I'm just a lot older than you guys, and I don't know it. I don't know. Like that. like like that, and like Voltron, I think was like our first introduction to
Oh, real quick,
Japanese.
Sailor Moon, the person who wrote that, is married to the author of Yu Yu Hakusho and Hunter x Hunter, who is my favorite manga author, and also Yu Yu Hakusho, best shonen anime of all time.
Oh, big. Oh, okay. I need to look into Sailor Moon. But what were you saying, Graham?
Oh, I haven't watched a lot of anime. I was doing other stuff when those were out, but that was like my like all of our introduction to like Japanese style storytelling.
I actually agree. I think my favorite child memory, actually, this makes like I just remembered this and it like made me feel like warm, right? But like when I was a kid, my family would take me to McDonald's and you know they had the Happy Meals with the Power Ranger toys, and I got like the Yellow Ranger and I was like playing with it, and yeah, like Power Rangers was definitely like my introduction to sort of like like Japanese fiction basically.
Yeah, Power Rangers got super Americanized. It wasn't even the same show here
1000%
as it was there.
Yeah, like America took it and definitely like made it into like pop culture.
So there would be no way to like use a chess clock in your debate lives, would there? Like, there's not an option to implement one, is there?
I mean, I could do timers, like I put a timer on people, but no, like I get what you're saying, like the chess clock was like it was perfect, yeah, like you would talk and then you would press it to signal that you've stopped to your opponent, then they would start theirs, and then also because you have a limited amount of time, you'd have to manage it accordingly. Like it's such a cool idea, absolutely. Okay.
Excellently fair. I've been trying to think, like, while everybody was talking, I'm thinking, what kind of devious strategy could you use using a chess clock? You know, just, I guess what you could do is just use up all your time and then leave. That would be nasty.
Yeah. Or actually, now that you say it, what if I bought a chess clock, low key? Like, I wouldn't even mind just having it, like, as an antique, basically. But I do plan on actually. I think you've heard me say this, but I plan on doing in real life debates, especially since a lot of people live in Texas with me. So it's gonna be Matthew, Bobby, Forrest, and Christ Before Jesus. We're all in Texas and relatively close. I could drive to all of them, and I was thinking about doing in-person debates, for sure, and picking them up. But that's in the future. I gotta like save up some money and buy some stuff like buy like one of those tent things. It's like it has the top and it has like 4 sticks, like one of those tent things, and then buy some foldable tables and chairs.
Yeah, an easy up.
Yeah, and get like permits, of course. Like, so if we set up in like Denton, Texas, I need a permit to be on that sidewalk probably. But yeah. But no.
So,
go ahead.
I sometimes work in the summer. I work at this crazy gated place called Chautauqua Institution.
Yeah.
And it's like a really old thing, but it's all about like religion and politics. Everybody there is all different religions, but they all get along, and they have like a hall of philosophy and all this like ballet and opera, and it's all really highbrow and very expensive, but it's a spiritual place sort of. And I was walking from one venue to another one day between jobs, and I came across a table that said they had a Jew, a Christian, and a Muslim, and they were all sitting at a table and with a sign behind them that said, "Ask us anything." And I stopped and I talked to them for probably 5 hours. I didn't even show up to my next job. Like, I just didn't even call them. That was like my first in-person, like, actually talking to people about it, you know, because it's pretty rude for the most part.
Yeah. Honestly, like, I probably would have done the same thing. I would have been like, fuck work, I'm calling in. And, like, you end up debating them for the entire time. But to do it for a living, would be really, like, fun. Graham Oppie or, like, you know, any of the debaters, Christian or atheist, that do it for a living. Like, getting paid to publicly speak would be pretty cool.
Well, you haven't changed your goals since I first met you on this app, and that was a long time ago.
Yeah. Yeah.
And boy, you've learned a lot. I'll tell you that.
Yeah. I've actually I've grown from, so like I started TikTok and I was doing like problem of evil and like barely even that, and then now I'm like debating like authorship and like events in the gospel. But yeah, problem of evil, divine hiddenness, gospel authorship. I've learned, yeah, like I've learned a shit ton off of this app, and like I'll pick something up in conversation and then go read further on it. It's like somebody will say like logical fallacy, or somebody will say like modus ponens, and I'll go like read more on it. And so, yeah, like I've like learned a lot, grown a lot for sure, um, and I've done like a lot of studying, and I've added stuff to my notes. Yeah, it's been fun as hell. Shoot.
Right on. So you're going to get back on around 6 to do the debate?
Yeah. So around 6, I will. Yeah. Speaking of that.
Well, if I see some of your promo videos, I'll like and share them and comment.
Yeah. So around 6, there's like 4 people in here, but I guess for the 4 people, around 6, I will be hosting this debate, and it's always too big. God damn it. Okay. Well, here, let me shrink it. But I will be doing this debate at 6, and then yeah, I'm trying to do more stuff. I have like I actually have like 3 events planned. I'm gonna be debating somebody in July. I'm hosting this debate today, and then Godless Engineer recently requested to debate somebody that's gonna be on the 27th or 28th of this month. I think maybe 26th. And yeah, I got a couple things planned. A couple debates I'm going to be hosting. But
Godless Engineer's been at it for 15, 16 years now.
Shit. Wait, really? He's been around for like 16 years?
Oh, yeah, he's been on YouTube forever.
Shit. Yeah, I plan on doing this.
You got to look up Godless Engineer. He's been a content creator in the atheist sphere for like a really, really long time, and does really good stuff, really high quality stuff.
Yeah, I had him in a debate once actually on my channel, and like now I'm gonna have him a second time. But yeah, I'm gonna be doing this for a while. Like I'm gonna do this as a hobby or like on the side, and try to see if I can make it into something while I'm working 9-to-5 jobs and putting some money.
What do you think about that other live that does the 4v4, and it's she picks the topic?
Oh, talking about brown sugar?
Yes.
Oh yeah, like I was talking to her, and I told her that what she does is like innovative, and she needs to continue doing it and be consistent, and she could turn it into like an LLC if she really wanted to. I gave her a whole like map out, but like yeah, it's up to her. But no, I think that's like awesome, because I think like the key to being successful on social media is like, you know, everybody's trying to do what I'm trying to do, right? And like they're not my enemies, they're like my coworkers, and like we're supposed to like work together, collaborate, and also, you know, people should be like coming up with new ideas to bring into the space. And so I think to be successful in social media, or to be the best, right? Collaborate with other people and like bring fresh ideas that nobody's thinking of, and like always keep it new and fresh. And I think like she brought this idea, right? Everyone's debating on TikTok. People are either hosting panels or doing 1v1s like Ian or Deconstruction does. And so she decided to do like a tournament where she can collaborate with other creators and just have them go off against each other, and, you know, have people call people out, and like rivalries like flare up. And I think like, holy shit, that's like nobody even thought of doing that. Now everyone's copying her. And so yeah, no, I think it's really good.
Yeah, it's sometimes it's like barely controlled chaos, which, you know, attracts a crowd.
Yeah, which honestly, now given the chess timers, imagine if she did that and she showed the chess timer on the screen, like she had like a physical chess timer, and then she would just press the button for the people, basically. That'd be pretty cool.
Yeah, it'd be super amazing, because it definitely limits each conversation to exactly how long you want it.
Yeah. Yeah, no, that'd be pretty cool. But
and it keeps each other from interrupting each other.
Yeah, because oftentimes it does just descend into that. It descends into like Well, I mean, when everyone's screaming, it's just basically static. Nobody can understand anything that's happening.
Well, I mean, they could have a good point, but every 4 words they got to stop and discuss who interrupted who for a while,
Yeah.
and it's just yeah.
Yeah, it's just the meta of the conversation. But yeah, with that, yeah, I will see you at 6, and I'm probably gonna hop on other panels too, and just like drink a soda and like eat some food. But yeah, I'll be around.
Right on. I'm going back to medieval Japan,
He-
playing Ghost Coyote.
Hell yeah. See you in a bit.